Hello, everyone. Welcome to the annual E3 coverage. It's the pre-E3 show here on Drop Frames. Co, what are you looking at?
Where did I go?
What do you mean?
JP, I don't think you put Zeke in this scene.
No. We saved Zeke the best for last. See, you just pop him up like that.
Okay, there I am. Hey,
God. He was below the fold, as they say in the biz.
Oh my God. You've been wanting to replace me is this your subtle way of like shoving me out the door?
Well, I mean, you're only here for one E3 show, so I guess you could stay for this one. And then after that, you're doing your own stuff with Twitch. I don't understand it, but I understand.
Ice cold, man.
That you got to do what you got to do. I understand that you got to do what you got to do. Yeah, sorry about that. Anyways, housekeeping stuff first. I know Jericho said he was going to be here. He had something come up last minute, and so did the 7 or 8 other people we did. And then I remembered, last week we got stood up by Jesse Cox. So why not last night at 12:30 a.m. my time, send him a text and see what he says. And Jesse Cox answered the call.
I had to say yes.
I was going to say
I felt obligated by law. I was like, look, yeah, okay, sure.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it worked out. You saved the day.
And trust me, I didn't want to. I've been trying to avoid these guys for so long.
Yeah, I know. You signed the Total Biscuit contract that says avoid drop frames, and now you're breaking the contract. So thank you for doing that. Appreciate that.
Yeah, it's fine. He won't say anything.
It's true. He won't. He might. He might be in here later. Probably complaining about something. We are going to talk about E3 stuff. I do want to talk a quick second about stuff on Twitch, because that's kind of what the show was founded upon, but we are going to talk E3 as well. The Vodcast stuff went live. It's been live for about a week. I don't think I've seen a product launch and had as much negative discussion on social media as Vodcast has in the past week. I've seen a lot of broadcasters very upset about the implementation of it being in the game directory, showing up in the same feeds as live channels, showing up in the following section as live channels. It's not broken out like it is hosts are. I've seen a lot of people very upset by it. So I felt like we should at least talk amongst ourselves, and then we'll jump onto the E3 stuff. Because I think it is worth talking about. Zeke, you look as if you're confounded.
No, I'm not. No, I wasn't confounded. When you said it's got the most negative media or social media attention,
that might be a little hyperbolic. What would be the most? Would you say?
I think Bits was up there.
Yeah, Bits was pretty rough.
Maybe so,
especially at the very beginning.
Yeah, maybe so.
But I mean, you are right. This has had quite a backlash, and I think a lot of it is for good reason.
Yeah, I mean, the main complaints, I guess, that I've seen are that it is very hard to distinguish that it is a VOD and it is not live. The only way that I've seen is that in the top right, it has a little white dot and it says Vodcast. And if you're not hovering over the screen with that, you have it's not there the entire time, right? The overlays only pop up if your mouse hovers over the screen, the Twitch player, that is. So a lot of people...
That little overlay is not on mobile.
Right. On mobile, it doesn't even pop up at all. Is there
anything on mobile that says you're watching pre-recorded content? Nothing.
Is there
It shows on the follower channel page. It says like right before the thing. It says
no, not on mobile.
Gray. But that's what I was gonna ask. Like I know on my desktop it says podcast in gray right by the thing and my followers list, but it doesn't say that on mobile.
Nope. Not on the latest version of the Android app. Nope.
Yeah. The funny thing is I've seen a lot of people who will use the Vodcast and sit at the top of a particular game being streamed while other broadcasters who are live do nothing but sit under them and can never overtake them because they're much larger audiences to begin with. And that kind of sucks. I think that's kind of a shitty situation that needs to be addressed. I don't necessarily know if Vodcast need to show up in the game directory as live on a live streaming platform. That's kind of
I think that's the biggest point. I think like that's the biggest issue, because most of the time when there's an issue with Twitch, it's usually overreactions, people like losing their mind, and then a week later everything's fine again.
Yeah,
that's a big issue. The idea that someone is just broadcasting a thing that already exists, that it's not new content, and they're already overtaking people who are like in the game and struggling to beat stuff right then, like in the moment. I don't know. I just don't like that aspect of it.
Yeah. I think there's also something to be said just in the idea of a vodcast, and we touched on this last week when it got introduced during the show. The idea of a vodcast on a live streaming platform is weird, and I really wonder after a month or two of using it on a channel if it waters down your content at all. If you're always live, no matter what, it seems like your content becomes it loses the this guy's live now type quality to a live stream, right? Like if you can't catch the stream live, then you just go watch the VODs, and you're watching a VOD. It doesn't have the chat experience. It's not the same thing. But with this, it's pretty much all the same thing, except he's not there. So I worry if that will water down content for channels that use it frequently being every single day. That'll just have to take the test of time to see how that works out.
Also, I saw this mentioned in chat. Somebody asked if I had the most updated version of the Twitch app. I just updated it, and it's still not there. So, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. But Jesse is a I would say majority YouTuber. The majority of your content is YouTube focused. Does the idea of a vodcast appeal to you at all?
I understand the premise of it, and I get the idea of you have stuff to do, and it's nice to create content for your community where even if you're not around, you can still produce things. But I think on Twitch, it's about the interaction with the community, not just throwing up a video and saying, "Here you go, guys."
Right.
It's about the chat and communicating with them and playing with them, and there's more to it than just creating a video. That's why people are here and not on YouTube, right? So that's like, it drives me crazy when Twitch tries to do that. But we're gonna offer VOD services and VOD this and VOD, like that's not the experience people are here for, and it drives me crazy when they try to go down that route.
Yeah. Someone in chat was also mentioning that the product is for the ESLs, the Geek and Sundries, these large stream conglomerates that do tournaments and all that stuff, and don't have a tournament every single week or every single day, so they can show a tournament from the prior weekend or something like that. Or Ko even brought it up last week of doing roleplay content that way, of showing roleplay shows leading up to it, and I think that serves them fine. I think vodcast for those people is fine. That makes sense.
Well, it's the key point is interactivity. There's no interactivity on an esports thing or on a I haven't watched a lot of the Geek and Sundry stuff. Do they talk to the chat while they're playing?
No,
not on their major shows.
Yeah, it's just like roleplay where we don't.
That's what I'm saying. Like the interactivity, where the interactivity is key, I think it has no place.
Yeah.
I think they're trying to do the same thing with the vodcast as they're trying to recreate with the Bob Ross, the Power Rangers, the Mr. Rogers. They're trying to cultivate interactive audiences around static content. And vodcasting is basically exactly what Twitch has been doing with those initiatives over the last half year.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think the majority of the feedback that Twitch needs to hear has gotten out there already, just on Twitter, from partners saying like there needs to be a clear distinction 100% all the time on a broadcast that is a vodcast, not when you hover over it, because no matter what they say, even from people that have vodcast themselves, the hardest thing to do is to get someone in chat to understand that this is a VOD that is being streamed through the video player. It is not live content. Chat is live, but the video that you're watching was recorded at an earlier date. It is not live in that specific situation. And that's kind of a hard thing to convince an average Twitch viewer to understand, where the entire platform for the majority of its existence has been nothing but live content. And so constantly, repeating that gets a little bit overbearing on broadcasters that I've seen do the vodcast stuff. So I think that's also a complaint that people that use the vodcast system have as well. Not only people that are looking at it from the outside in, it's the people using it themselves. So
yeah, but I mean, break down what the biggest complaint is.
I think the biggest. Well, go ahead.
The biggest complaint is not knowing whether it's live or a vodcast.
I think so, yeah. And also the fact that it shows up in game directories amongst all the other live channels. But I think there's a point of contention there. I understand why it sucks that it does, But otherwise, where do you go? Do they make a brand new tab to show all vodcasts like they have on in the game section or the browse section? Like, I don't know where that fits into the Twitch site in terms of discovering that. A site that has
also,
issues with discovery to begin with.
If you look at your following list, it's no longer like back in the day, it used to be like live channels, right? It would just straight up say it. Now it's just like overview and it says live channels at the top. It may be good to have it while in overview, kind of split it up in there, kind of like they do with the hosting and everything, but maybe put them at the bottom of the list so you see all the live channels first, and then starting with the biggest one, then you see all the vodcasts.
Yeah.
So at least that makes it clear that, you know, the live channels are there first. Maybe they do that in the games too, so that way all the people that are actually there get kind of first dibs at, you know, viewers looking for an interactive Twitch experience. And then once you've kind of gone through all those channels, there's all the vodcasts. But no, I think another thing, Zeke, that a lot of people are really frustrated about is smaller streamers.
Yeah.
Because the thing is like, you know, if everyone were to start vodcasting, if it became a Twitch culture for larger channels to start vodcasting, that could change the face of how smaller streamers become successful. Because if there was always this layer, this almost impenetrable layer of people that are always vodcasting at the top of channels, I mean, that's like
yeah, I mean,
over the
I think
that's capitalism, baby. That's America. The rich get richer, the poor get poorer.
I think Cohh could be a little bit harsher. It doesn't change the face of how they become successful. It stops success. Like, how do you overcome a channel that no matter what you try to do, they're not even live and they're going to get the lion's share of the followers or the views on that channel or on that game rather. So I that seems, and especially like if a new game comes out, what's to stop a broadcaster from literally when he's done with his, or their rather, 8 to 12 hour broadcast, starting that over the day it comes out and making a 24-hour stream, their first 8 to 12 hours just on itself,
in fact,
just copied.
Not only that, but it's almost to the point where you're kind of dumb not to do that. If the system stays how it is, like, and here's the thing. I mean, that's a perfect way to do it. In fact, if everyone started doing it, I'd probably start doing it. Where when a new game comes out, you just like you said, play 8 hours and then let everyone know, hey, could you not make it to my live show? Well, check out show number 2 and show number 3, and then we're gonna pick up live tomorrow at 8 a.m. And it's like, I don't know, like, that's dangerous.
It is, yeah. I mean, it'll. Yeah, that'd be a very weird thing if someone tunes into Twitch for the first time and it's all vodcast at the top of every game they want to watch. That'd be a very weird thing, for sure. Someone in the chat
and
also.
Then it's like competing vodcasts.
Yeah.
You just have like 4.
You have
you have like 4 to 6 vodcasts competing for first, and then like the live channels trying to make it.
And you have like automated tweets set up over the night to make sure that you drive your viewer. Yeah, like that gets really odd. That becomes an odd thing. Someone in the chat had the idea of, and I don't know if I necessarily agree with it, but I think it's a good talking point. What if you stripped away like cheering and revenue streams during vodcast? Is that completely fucked up, or is there something to maybe pull from that?
I think I speak for many of us when I say we get offline cheers and tips, so I wouldn't want to like turn that off.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, Twitch would have no control over tips. It would only be cheers. Cheers and I guess subs is the only thing.
Yeah. But even then, I don't know.
I think that's way too punishing.
A lot of people see me on YouTube and then they'll come over at the only time that they can in the afternoon, and like people will sub and be like, hey, you know, I watch you like all your stuff on YouTube. Sorry, I can't make the live shows. Here's a sub for you regardless.
Right.
And it's like, that's awesome. They wouldn't be able to do that in that case.
Yeah. I think that's a little bit too much.
I think most people would understand that you weren't around to see it, and anyone who was going to do it anyway would have done it anyway if you weren't there or not. So I think early on there'll be a few people who are like, oh, I'm gonna cheer and see if, you know, he'll notice me or something. But after a while they'll be like, oh, this isn't live. This isn't a real thing. Yeah. So they'll stop. And if they were gonna do it anyway, they were gonna do it anyway. So I don't think it's something you should remove. But
yeah. I actually, thinking about vodcast, I might replay while sleeping, I might replay the E3 panels on Twitch.
Damn.
Just on the channel. Like, why would I not? They're only 2 to 3 hours, though, so I guess they would have to just be looped. But it would make sense for people that aren't in the time zones of those panels going on, that can't watch them live, that maybe don't want to wait for a YouTube upload or something like that.
Well, and I mean, also the idea of vodcasting, though, I do kind of like that. Like, for instance, when the next Mass Effect comes out, and I do one of my franchise playthroughs, I don't want to play every Mass Effect again when I just did it like a year or two ago. Now I can just vodcast the whole playthrough and be like, hey, I'm going to be doing my live stream at this time, but all the off time, catch up on the Mass Effect series for the new one coming out this time. So that stuff's kind of cool, but I don't know. I'm still completely staying away from it until they change how it shows up in following. I don't feel this is the final iteration, and especially after seeing how people feel about it, and seeing like what's being said about the people that are doing it, it's very, very negative. There's nothing really good coming out of this system right now, and a lot of people are very frustrated. And there's some very vocal, actually rather large group of very vocal smaller streamers that are like, "You're trying to kill us," and it's not really something you want to get behind. That kind of goes against the whole community thing.
It does.
And this is crazy to bring this up right now, because right before we started, I was having a conversation about an article that came out where young kids, when asked what they wanted to be, this is the job they want.
I know, that's the most. My cousin wants to be a content creator, and I'm just like, just go to school. Just don't. Please don't.
It's the new like rock star, man. Everyone wants to be this, and they all think it's like within grasp. And so I think the idea of that ceiling really kills that vibe. And so that's the future of your community. You don't want to tell people you can't achieve here.
Yeah. I mean, I think most successful partners will say that it was a large percentage of luck that made them where they're at today. And so basically removing the idea of luck, there's still an idea of like how to get started, how to do everything right. But if you just have this giant fucking thing stopping you from any success, that's really shitty.
Dude, I'll take what you just said a step further. Not only do some partners feel that it's luck, but there's partners like me where one of the sole reasons my channel is where it is I saw where the big streamers were, and I got there when they logged off.
Yeah.
And then I was there to get all those viewers. And I did that 1 game, 2 game, 3 game, 4 game. By the 40th game, I was at 4 digits. By the 50th game, I was at 5 digits. And, it's kind of like, if vodcasting was a thing, none of that would have happened to me.
Yeah.
Like, there's no question that all of that leapfrogging that got me where I am now would be non-existent with an active vodcast system in its current state.
Yep. Yeah, I don't know. I can't think of something quickly on how Twitch how it benefits live or small streamers in the first place. I feel like vodcast is definitely like, here's a help to YouTubers that want to come over and try to work their content into a live streaming platform service, or for the bigger channels that want to rehash their content and show them, or potentially get new viewers at off times. I don't see like a sub 1,000 or a sub 4-digit stream benefiting too much from vodcast.
The thing is, though, is this system, it's a cool system. It just needs some changes, some very, very serious changes. Unfortunately, one big issue is what Zeke brought up earlier. It is still nigh impossible to tell if a channel is actually vodcasting or not. If you're not paying attention, if you're on mobile, like there's all these gotchas to not actually doing the vodcast system.
Yeah.
Well, it seems like it would benefit just from being separated.
For
a
sure.
little
Well,
bit more like.
Not only that, but there's all sorts of ways that Twitch could make it so the user would know that. Like if a channel was vodcasting and you went to type in the channel, it would pop up a little warning saying, hey, please understand you're watching pre-recorded content. What if it did that in between the user typing something in the chat and sitting there? Or if it set it on the screen temporarily and you had to hit an X to make it go away, or an OK, please understand you're watching pre-recorded content. Like there's all sorts of things they could do. And if they fixed that and then getting it out of the live section somehow, or prioritizing actual interactive people, that would be a great system. But unfortunately, that part right there is why a lot of people didn't use playlists.
Yeah.
When playlists came out, we said all the stuff we're saying right now. Playlisting's a cool idea, but there's a whole lot of confusion if it's live or not. Here's a bunch of suggestions. And they kind of said, okay, well, we got your suggestions, but we're going to move on.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, vodcasting comes out, and all vodcasting is playlists live. And it's like, but what about all that stuff we said to you about making the system useful and good that you didn't listen to? And now here's the same system on live.
Right.
So yeah. Huh.
Jesse, we were talking about it last show, and now that we have, again, someone whose primary focus is YouTube, we had the idea of having every single day or whenever your videos go live, right? You live them first on Twitch for the entirety of the video. You put your chat into sub-only mode, and you bring your audience, you tweet out like, hey, catch an early glimpse of the video going live later today. You put your chat in sub-only mode. You bring your entire audience over to Twitch to watch the video live with you in chat. Is that something that you think would be a profitable business model or a business model that would work to begin with?
To lure people to YouTube?
Just as a YouTuber is another revenue stream.
Well, I mean, I'm on Twitch as another revenue stream as is. So I mean, it's one of those things where you'd be foolish not to play both the games.
Right.
But
it's a lot more work for sure. But like Ko was saying, you'd have like how we have a YouTube guy. YouTube guys would have a Twitch guy that literally just plays their VOD on channel.
So
Go
I mean,
Ko.
the thinking here, Jesse, is you would have a channel on Twitch, and every time you release a YouTube video, you would release it first on Twitch, let people view it live, so it's a live unveiling of your YouTube video, and then when that's done, you post it to your YouTube.
I mean, here's the thing. That's incredibly smart to do it that way. I think because you get the live interaction, you get the people all watching it together so they can react together. So it's more than just the comments like first and Jesse at this point. So, and I love that idea. I think it's actually really smart. The craziest thing about that though is on the flip side on YouTube, which I think is interesting. Right now, one of the biggest like strategies, which for me seems like a way too much work, is do their streaming service and like hype up your video and then drop it live so everyone watching you live immediately goes to watch it on your YouTube channel. Which is another weird strategy, but it's like it all comes down to the fact that by cultivating a community and getting people to congregate together in a group, you can then push that number to watch what you're doing at such a higher rate. And so
that probably helps the algorithm as well in terms of pushing that video on YouTube itself. Yeah.
Absolutely. And so I love the idea of doing it on Twitch because I think Twitch is just an infinitely better live streaming platform than YouTube. And so the idea of doing it here also takes into account the new feature that they have. So this is one of those things where if they change stuff, awesome. If they don't, you'd be a fool for not taking advantage of it. And it sucks for the people coming up, but anyone who's does this as a job, as a business, if they don't change stuff and this is just what it is, I mean, that's it. You gotta take advantage of it, or you're stupid for not.
Yeah.
When it's a thing right now where it's like it's an opt-in, but when everyone else starts using it, it's do I want to sacrifice part of my channel to not be where everyone else is at this point? And it's kind of like you kind of have to swim with the sharks at that point, or you're shooting yourself in the foot. It's going to suck, which is really why I'm hoping that they change it, because that would be really unfortunate to see everyone start doing that.
Yeah, definitely. All right, well, let's talk about E3 stuff, but you guys have been watching a vodcast, so we're going to go be right back. The live JP, Co, Zeke, and Jesse will be live in, I don't know, probably 3 or 5 minutes. We'll see you in just a sec. Welcome back, everyone. Hope you guys enjoyed that vodcast on us talking about vodcast. It was really hard to tell that it was a vodcast, wasn't it?
Wait, so did it work? Did it go through?
I guess it worked, yeah.
It looked like it, yeah.
Yeah, it looked pretty good.
I was watching the chat during the vodcast, and it looked like it was live. I mean, I was chatting with them to really like make it look like it was live.
Yeah.
It's really hard to tell.
It is, yeah. It's E3 time, boys and girls. It's been a year, which is hard to believe. It's already been a fucking year since last E3. I think how many games? Here's a question that I actually want answered. How many games announced or shown at last year's E3 have come out and that we've played?
There is an answer to that. I know someone
We've
just
played
the other
Bridge
day,
Crew, which was last week. That was announced last year.
Yeah.
Chad, help us here. What else? Matt, was Andromeda shown last year? Because that's a game
Yes.
that came out. Horizon was shown. That came out.
Prey.
Mm-hmm.
Prey was Prey announced last year?
Yeah, it was at the Bethesda conference.
Prey
I'll
came
never
out?
forget that the Prey area of that Bethesda conference was like it was the stepchild under the stairs. It was under stairs, and it was like, what is this place? And they're like, it's for a game called Prey. No one had a clue. Wow, was it weird? It was such a weird moment.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, for sure. Resident Evil 7, Nier. I guess Nier was shown at like a Square Enix conference. Battlefield 1 was shown at EA. For Honor was Ubisoft. Zelda. That's actually all that was shown.
Poor
from
For
Nintendo.
Honor.
Yeah.
We already have our game that has come out and already died before next
Yeah.
E3.
Dude, I saw
rough,
somewhere that For Honor had 90% of its player base.
90% of its player base is
leave.
gone.
But in the grand scheme of Ubisoft, that's kind of their thing with multiplayer games, right? Except for Rainbow Six. That's the one that that still continues to be badass.
Rainbow Six is still going strong, man.
Yeah.
Would you say The Division was one of those?
Totally. Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's still a lot of people that play the Division, though. It's actually still active, believe it or not.
That's-
That last survival thing brought a lot of people back.
Yeah. So I wonder what game they'll announce this year that'll do that. We'll get to that soon. We're going to go in chronological order, though, of the panels. Jesse, I'll share this link with you.
Cool.
And while we're going through this stuff, chat, obviously we know that you guys know everything. So if there's something that needs to be discussed, feel free to say it in chat. We'll keep our eyes on it and make sure to bring it up. That as it pertains to rumors, because there's, from what I've seen, there is a fuck ton of rumors, both goofs and real ones this year for E3. And not that much stuff. I mean, some things have been leaked, but for the most part, especially if you look at someone like Bethesda, there's nothing really confirmed. But we'll get to
They're
that
being
soon.
Right.
impressively tight-lipped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll get to that soon. Let's start with, I think panel-wise is probably, well, maybe not for Jesse. I think for me, Zeke, and Co, it's probably the least amount of excitement going into the first conference on Saturday, which is EA's panel. But I think Jesse's
There's
excited
never-
for Star Wars. And I think I might be excited for Star Wars stuff too.
Here's the problem. I'm hesitant about Battlefront 2. I thought Battlefront 1 was like, meh. But I'm really excited for the story in that. All I want is for them one day to just give me like a little taste of that visceral Star Wars game. They'll never show it.
That's what
And
I
it
want.
drives me crazy.
That's
All
what I want
is
too,
that.
man. I feel like if they showed what that one like 30-second CG thing of the guy coming out of the cantina and showing a little bit of the cityscape, that was probably CG. We don't think that was in gameplay. If that was in gameplay, that's fucking crazy looking.
Yeah.
I'll find that in just a sec. This is Battlefront 2 footage. But yeah, I think if they show visceral stuff, which is Amy Hennig and Jade Raymond's game, they show that. I think that's the one thing that EA could show that's going to get people super fucking excited.
Right.
Because for the most part, I mean, you kind of have your standard stuff. You've got your FIFA, you've got your NBA, you've got your sports games, right? That's going to be there. They're going to wheel out Pele in a fucking wheelchair till the year that he's no longer with us. It's going to always be a thing. They're going to have probably, I think it's been confirmed that they're going to do a 20 versus 20 Battlefront 2 live stream of Assault on Theed, which is the prequel trilogy map. And it says, quote, featuring your favorite YouTubers, Twitch streamers, and more. I really hope they invited Snoop Dogg back because the weed memes were just the best last year. That made a lot of that entire E3 was just it was so good. It was so good. The fucking interviews before they played
Beforehand were amazing.
where they were just like, yeah, he's got that special stuff. And he's just talking about weed. It's just great. It's the best. That entire thing was awesome. I hope there's more of that. Just weird not weird, but celebrities playing a video game being completely out of place. That's what I come to expect from EA. I love that stuff. But apart from that, sports games, you got Star Wars stuff, which I hope is more than just Battlefront 2. I think that's going to be what they focus on a lot. I hope it's the stuff me and Jesse were just talking about. Maybe some new stuff.
Now, do they have the right? I mean, can they make a new KOTOR or not?
Well, BioWare's been working on a new IP, so I don't think it's going to be a KOTOR. But they have the entire, and Jesse would probably be the best to answer this, but I think they have the entire Star Wars license to make games.
Yeah, they have everything. Disney's been really cool about making sure that everything connects now. Like old Star Wars stuff, you could just make something and it didn't matter. But now they're like, this needs to connect to this, and this has to matter with this. And so if you look at the trailer, like the Star Wars nerds out there, if you look at the trailer for Battlefront 2, there is so much stuff crammed into there that exists in other things that you're like, all right, then I'm excited for this.
Yeah.
But so yeah, they control everything. EA and Disney have like if they're allowed to make it, it will be anything they can create that Disney signed off on. So
Jesse, for us that don't follow Star Wars too closely, what were there any things that you can remember offhand that like really impressed you from the trailer that you immediately could tell from where other places?
Oh yeah.
Oh god, you just asked the lore master to lore right now.
Deep dive, man.
Let's
put on
do
the
it.
helmet and went down 1,000 feet. So right off the top, there is immediately in the cutscene stuff, there's one of these guys who is in the comics who is like the Emperor. They just added this after in the new stuff. The Emperor has like little robot men in red robes that go around that have his face on it. And they're like his sort of minions that direct everyone. And they're in this. A bunch of the people from like the Inferno Squad stuff, some of that lore is from previous stuff that's in here. The little tiny things like the little backpack droids and stuff, it's all the little tiny bits they pulled from everything else that is now like, see, that's a real thing now because Disney said so. And, you know, it's from a comic book or a game or a book itself, and they just pieced it together. It's just fun to know that it matters. Like this, whatever is in this story matters to the rest of the world. Like at some point will be used again to explain something else. So I think it's like the payoff there is huge because this isn't just bullshit. It isn't just like we created this fun thing, so have fun. If you're like a fan of the expanded universe, everything matters. Yeah, which I think is pretty cool.
I think that's what EA is counting on to push units through Battlefront 2 is exactly what Jesse just said, where everything matters.
Yep.
We're going to say something, Ko, or did I cut you off? Okay.
Also, for chat, is Jar Jar still canon? First off, Jar Jar's canon. Second off, in the book Empire's End, I believe is it, they finally tell you what happens to Jar Jar. Here's the best part. Everybody hates Jar Jar. Jar Jar is known throughout the galaxy as the guy who helped the Emperor come to power. Everyone hates him. The only people who like him, ironically, children, because they don't know any better. That's canon. That is he is a sad clown who dances for kids outside of the Theed Palace. Oh, I swear to God. He is a clown now. That is what happened. So there you go, chat.
This is the only footage, by the way, you're seeing on screen of the game from Visceral Studios, or Visceral Games rather, that we saw. So I think that's going to be kind of EA's bread and butter this year, is push out as much Star Wars shit as possible leading up to the release of Episode 8 in December. Is just cram as much Star Wars in there as possible. It makes business sense. Yeah. And FIFA, yeah. You got sports games. And what?
Mobile. And just crappy mobile games.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, totally. You got Star Wars on every platform. Games. Yeah. Every platform possible.
The only Star Wars games that I played ever were the KOTOR games. I played like several seconds, whole seconds of other games. But as far as any other game that I played actually all the way through were the KOTOR games. What is Star Wars Battlefront like?
It's an
Is
FPS.
it an FPS?
It's Battlefield Star Wars.
It is reskin Battlefield essentially in a entire Star Wars interface.
But this year
with like a great sound setting. It's really well done.
And
but
it's
just
gorgeous. It's one of the best.
Is there like role playing elements, like choices you make or anything like that? Or
In this new one, there might be.
There's a story, I think, in this new one, a single player, I think.
Yeah. The first one
It's
was
like a
literally just a
single-player-ish.
quick cash grab before episode 7 came out. It was like, get something out there. This one actually tells a story and is about the arc from the end of 6 up until 7. So I think that's pretty, like, stuff that happens in between if you want to know what's going on. I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah. Speaking of Battlefield, we'll probably see I would think, a new expansion. It says in here in this doc we're looking at, it says Battlefield 1 in the name of the Tsar, which I don't know if that's leaked. I don't know where they're finding that name from, if they've already announced that that's the name of the expansion or what. But
So
Battlefield
it's Russian.
Battlefield 1's due for an expansion, I would think at this point, a full-fledged expansion. So we'll most likely they'll touch on that. That's going to be kind of a weird thing though, to go from like Battlefront to Battlefield, where it's basically like Ko just said, it's kind of just a reskinned game. So I want to see how they put that into the actual conference. If they put them super far away from one another, if they put them right next to one another, like how that really works into the actual progression of that conference.
Or like near the end of the Battlefield one, they just kind of go, "Oh, do you like your Battlefield with lasers?" And then it like snaps over to Star Wars. And they just keep going like nothing went wrong. That would have been, oh man.
Yeah. The other thing, there was a trailer, actually. I could probably show this and get the VOD claim. Need for Speed Payback, the franchise that just won't die. It's a trailer. And it's got idiots like me where it's like, guys, maybe this is the one where Burnout Paradise is it's back, guys. Maybe this is the one where it's not going to be. It's not going to be. It's going to be a bad game. I'm telling you now. There's no way that this, I don't know, man. I hope it's good. They've just disappointed so much in the past. So much. That's all I gotta say.
I will. Yeah, the audience. I just don't understand for this franchise. Like, I can't.
They went for me, and I think for a lot of people, the like amazing, highest of high tier, just arcade card games, multiplayer nonsense, and Burnout Paradise, where like, hey, you want to do dumb stuff in a car? We've got a dumb stuff in a car. And now they're doing this like Fast and the Furious wannabe thing where it's like this fucking douchebag. I've got a sick car. Let's go drive it. Like story driven. The last one was like FMV driven, which was fucking bizarre to see in the first place, where people are just fucking make Burnout Paradise again. That's all anyone ever wants. Just do that again. You bought the goddamn studio that made it. Just put them on it and you'll fucking make the game. That's all we want. Not Need for Speed Payback out November 10th. It just doesn't.
The EA model has, for the last several years, been let's play it as safe as humanly possible. Let's not stir up anything. The internet hates us, so let's like just be middle of the road. Like, they don't even try to make like creative stuff anymore. God, it's painful.
And the worst part is that's bringing even more hate.
Yeah, right? Like, oh, man.
It's a downward spiral of disappointment.
Yeah. In this thread, it also says Nas, is very relevant in 2017. And other musical guests will present for a concert, though they're not sure if that's part of a live stream. I don't know, man. It seems kind of light. Ko, you were saying before the stream that you look at EA's conference and there's just not too much for you.
Dude, I looked down that list and I don't think a single title even got me partially excited. Just it was not great last year, and this is like the next level of not great.
Yeah.
Well, this is not for us though, right? The EA shit is not for us. This is for sports gamers. People who like, there are people out there who primarily play one game, period.
Yeah.
And that could be FIFA, Madden, NBA Live. Like, that's for them.
There's one saving grace. BioWare is under EA. and there hasn't been a lot of talk out of BioWare what they're going to announce. There has been some rumors about a mobile game they're working on, but hopefully that's not the case. BioWare could drop like a new Dragon Age. They could drop a new IP. Like they could do something really cool to rock that portion of the conference potentially. I'm just hoping they get a chance to do it.
I will never understand their conferences. They have sports games. Seriously, they have sports games, and they bring out a sports celebrity, and then the footage they show is usually about some technological innovation in face cam technology.
It's whatever the new tech is, yeah.
And it's like this. What is it? Who is this going to interest? Who is into your sports games? No one. Their conferences are terrible. Every year, terrible.
I mean, they're terrible, but still fun to watch. I love watching.
I don't know a lot of sports fans, but I do know a lot of wrestling fans. And when they see a wrestling game and they're like facial technology, it's like, oh, it looks just like the fucking Undertaker. They get all jacked up about it.
Yeah.
So I bet there's people out there that are like, it looks exactly like fucking Name a Guy. It looks like Name a Guy. Look at him.
Yeah.
Name a Guy turns out fantastic baller.
He's the number one.
Oh my god. He's a power forward in a nation of centers.
Having a great season. I can't wait to see what happens with the draft next year. Man, he's going to be a free agent. Good on him.
We didn't see him last year, I don't think. But do you think
he came out of nowhere.
No.
The guy's fantastic.
Do you think you're still going? Do you think 2017 is the year for the Hoop God to come back? The community manager of whatever game, the Hoop God. The best meme to come out of 2015.
Was he a community manager? I thought he was just a dude.
I thought he was like a community manager or something on something. He wasn't just a random guy that came up and said, "Hey, I'm Hoop God. Let me into your conference."
He was straight up a guy that they got because he had like a big presence on their forums or something,
really?
And they brought him on, and they're like, "Hoop God's here." And I guess if you're in the forums, that was a major moment for you. But for the rest of the world, people were like, "The hell? Who is this guy?"
I thought he worked there. Never mind. Okay. He won't be back. They probably will never see him again.
And the rest of the world's like, they have forums for that?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Is there a video of the Hoop God? I'll try to find him. Yeah, I'll try to find him. He was a gigantic meme. If you just type,
I feel terrible because I missed the EA and most of the Xbox conference last year because I was sleeping because of the goddamn pre-show.
Oh, because you were up for like 24 hours or whatever, right?
Yeah, the pre-show was 12 hours. It was 10 to 10. And I was up for like 7 before that, so it was pretty fucking rough.
Yeah, here's some. There he is, the Hoop God. It's him from 2015.
He pats him on the stomach.
Yeah, it's the Hoop God.
Oh my God, they hype him up so much, and we were just like in the crowd.
Oh, that's right. They did the face capture stuff with him. That's why I remember this fucking nonsense. Because they take it looks fucking bizarre. I can't believe they did this. Also, that's a Vodcast phone right there. There's no way that's live. How'd they get that footage? There's no cords on that phone. Nothing.
It's so silly.
All right. That's enough, Hoop God. We're not going to see this here. I'm trying to, do you think, did they show?
That's another game. No, another game in there that people, really latch onto and primarily play is The Sims.
That's what I was about to, The Sims. Exactly.
Oh, my God.
Aurelian is all about The Sims, so I have to.
It's like we all know that person, that Sims person. That's all they do is The Sims.
I think by the mere fact that I'm dating her, I have to, by law, be somewhat excited during The Sims.
That's just being a good boyfriend is what that is.
Yeah.
That's just being a good life partner.
Tune in Saturday because I'll be the one out of 4 guys on the entire show. Hyped as fuck when they announced The Sims something or other. There's so many expansion packs for that. That game just makes so much money. It makes so much money. And it's completely out of the realm of any of us watching or on this actual show. I don't think anyone, I don't know. But it makes money.
You could come, okay, the best part about The Sims is that if you have any idea about real life.
Yes.
And you say,
I know what real life is.
You know what? I'm going to put realistic animal poop in The Sims and it's going to be an expansion, and there will be people out there going, "Oh my God, look how real that I can almost smell it. It's so good." People get fucking jacked about that.
I will say it is fun to watch. There's like one of the things that Sims content creators do is they'll put a bunch of Sims in a house and then just see how fast they die. Like it's a race to literally just kill everyone. And that I could see the fun in that. That'd be kind of cool to do once or twice, but not forever. I guess till the next game comes out. I don't know. Maybe we'll see a new Sims this year. Probably not. Probably see some. I bet you see mobile Sims.
It strikes me as funny. Like you can make a comparison to any gamer with this kind of comparison, but you could have built a real house in the time some people have spent on their house in The Sims.
Probably,
that is true.
yeah.
That is true.
Probably. Do you think we see anything for Titanfall 2? Do you think there's anything Titanfall related from Respawn? I mean,
maybe some DLC stuff.
Well, they just announced that mech like that's out or something like last week. A new Titan was announced and put into the game. I think last week or a week before that. Do you think they'll put on? Here's a better question: Is it worth it for EA to make Titanfall 3 and announce that, or put out DLC? 7 or 8 months, however long ago that game came out. Like, what makes business sense there?
I honestly see them having something on the show floor, but I don't think they'll announce anything.
Okay.
They might have a DLC or an extra map pack or something, but I don't know that they have anything that they can announce unless it would be a Titanfall 3.
Yeah.
Right? I don't
know
what else they could do.
I mean, the multiplayer, I feel like we were talking about dead games here. I feel like Titanfall was like the 2 or 3 week multiplayer extravaganza. Then it kind of fell off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it just goes to show that there's such a saturation of first-person shooter games. Even if they have things like I'm in a mech, or I'm in Star Wars, or everyone sort of falls back into the most popular one, and then everything else just sort of fades away.
Yeah,
because there's just so many. It's such a in that genre of game, they just keep coming out with them, and people sort of go back to what they enjoyed the most, and so it's a flash in the pan, and that's it.
Yeah, we did see in chat.
Man.
Yeah, exactly. We did see in the trailer that we saw for the EA Star Wars Look Ahead that Respawn was doing something with lightsabers and motion capture. So maybe we're getting a chivalry style game with Star Wars, or a For Honor style game with Star Wars, which would be kind of fucking cool to see. Just a bunch of lightsaber guys walking around, Jedis and Sith fighting. Yeah,
a really deep lightsaber combat system like that could be.
Oh no!
That could be cool.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Why is that?
Did
No,
you
Jesse.
just think about all the ways they could fuck that up?
I mean, yeah, but also I think
they need a guy that pushes, so I can play him. I'll be great at that guy. Just force push people off ledges.
Here's the thing that I think that sounds amazing. If there's one downside, I would have to say it seems to me most people associate being a Jedi with doing everything effortlessly. And if you had to practice and learn how to change your weapon, it would ruin the illusion. Everyone would be like, being a Jedi sucks, and no one would do it anymore.
Because you just want to be a badass Jedi. You don't want to be like a shitty Jedi, right?
You just want to twirl around,
Jedi kicking my ass. I thought, what's going on here?
Yeah, you just want to twirl around and do weird moves that make no sense and light stick. It doesn't. Yeah, no one wants to actually try hard to be a Jedi. They just want to be one.
Sure.
And so
it
just ruins the illusion.
I could see that. We didn't even talk about it. I'm hoping I've thought about it. I don't know what this year's in general, speaking outside of EA, this year's gimmick is gonna. Is it still VR? Is VR still the thing that it's the motion game of 2017 still? Motion controllers rather. Is that what we're gonna see everyone try to jump into? I kind of hope not.
Stop. They better not stop. I want my damn holodeck. Keep it going.
Okay, you're excited for it then. I
want a holodeck. I want to go bang space chicks with Commander Riker. That is my dream.
Okay.
That is my dream.
Maybe Ubisoft will help you out there. 'Cause I think
But I don't know, man. I don't know if I go with Riker, dude. Riker would not be. He'd be taking all the chicks. Like I'd go with Data. Data would be like the best wingman because he wouldn't want anything. He'd just be like a cool guy and he'd do whatever his program, whatever you tell him to do.
I disagree. He is fully functional, as stated.
He's
in many
fully
episodes.
functional, but he doesn't have a sex drive unless he turns it on.
Well, I would turn it on for him because I want my Data to have fun. I want lore. I don't want Data. Data's boring.
I turn it on too, but only after I secured
Help
my
me,
Strange.
Help. Help me.
I'll
help.
secure my Strange and then be like, all right, Data, you can go play.
There's nothing I can do here. I'm
Flip
sorry.
him on.
Okay, all right. I'm sorry. Zeke, here's a real question, and then we'll.
And then you walk in on Data with the toaster, like, oh shit!
You have to spray him with water. Data, stop!
No, bad.
Oh my
Bad Data.
I don't think there's anything. I'm trying to think what else EA can show. They've got Plants vs Zombies. We might see some stuff out of that, maybe. But apart from that, here's what you expect from EA: a shit ton of Star Wars stuff, a very good chunk of sports games in terms of time, not content. When I say very good, at least from my perspective, maybe some Titanfall 2 stuff. But I think it's mostly going to be like sports, Star Wars. That's EA. We'll see you next year for 2018.
They'll do their indie thing. They always have that. We're gonna flash 10 or 12 indie
that's
games really
true.
quickly up on the screen.
Have they put out like a big indie darling from the EA?
What was the Yarny game?
Was that actually good though? To be honest,
Unraveled or whatever?
Unbound, yeah.
Unraveled. I think it was.
Unraveled? Look, I remember more about the fucking conference of the developer coming out than the actual
Right.
game. So
It is. It's a sweet game. I
Unravel.
don't know that it's terrific, but it's okay. I think. Yeah, I'm trying to remember what other games they had that were their indie games.
no,
did
Cuphead's
they-
Microsoft. That's not EA.
Which
Yeah, I was
where
gonna
is that
say
game?
that. Okay.
Where is that game, y'all? I want
No,
that so badly.
They're gonna show it this year. They have to.
Yeah, I want. You say Cuphead?
Yeah, that's
I totally
Microsoft.
want that one.
Yeah.
But oh yeah, let's not get off track. Sorry.
Child of No, that's Ubisoft. See, you guys are naming indie games that have nothing to do with EA, because that's what the indie game world is. It's fucking bizarre.
No,
man.
I'm on Origin site and I'm trying to find. They don't have like an indie category. Well, because they're not indie.
Yeah, I mean it's yeah.
They don't have like
it's
a
triple
category.
I or whatever the dumb industry term is. That really sad war game. That
Child
was
of Light was Origin.
No,
Or
that's
was
Ubisoft.
It, was EA?
It's Ubisoft.
That was Ubisoft.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. A lot of people are saying Skate 4. I think that's kind of. I think the hardcore nerd, the hardcore
I don't think the
gamer.
skate games count as.
No, not indie
Kind
games.
of
I'm just saying in general,
Oh.
like something that EA could throw in there that would fucking make people super excited. I think Skate 4 would probably be that. But I don't think you're going to see that. I think they're going to really go to town on the Star Wars stuff. It's so easy to sell stuff alongside of a new Star Wars movie, especially a main feature in the trilogy that like you want to pump out as much Star Wars shit as possible to make your fucking bottom line go up at the end of the year. Like you just have to.
So apparently last year they had their EA Originals press conference thing that they did. And there was a
Right.
game called Fee or Faye.
That was
Totally forgot about this.
Yeah, I remember that. I actually that's the first time I've heard that since last year.
I don't think it's come out. Yeah, I'm on their website now and it still has the trailer and that's it.
Yeah.
So I don't know how well that bodes for EA Originals, but
Yeah, this is for those that remember. This is or don't remember. This is Fee or Faye from last year. It looked great. We just haven't seen anything from it. I mean, it looked like a platformer. Really, is what it looked like. But yeah, we haven't seen anything. And then what else was there? There was that Sea of Solitude, which I don't remember anything about. I'm reading off a list here of things that they showed. There was a Hazelight game. Oh, Hazelight is the company that made Brother: A Tale of Two Sons.
yeah, there's a new one they're making.
There's a new one, yeah, when they were at Starbreeze. And now they've got one with two men on a train or something like that, which would be
Yeah.
cool. Brothers was a fantastic fucking game. So
Yeah.
yeah. Did you ever play that, Co? I don't know if you ever touched on. It's how long would you guys say that game is? 4 or 5 hours?
Barely that, yeah.
If you need like a 4 or 5 hour experience, Co, that's fucking phenomenal when it comes to
Wait, which one was it?
Brother: A Tale of Two Sons. It's where you play both the kids on the screen with the left and right sticks.
Yeah, no, I've not played that.
Yeah, that game's fucking super good. Very heavy emotionally. So if that's something you're into, you can check that out.
And there's like a fun ogre guy in it.
Yeah, that's right. There is.
There's like a super fun ogre guy.
Forgot about that guy. But that's basically EA. What I was gonna say, and that the conference begins at our coverage will start. Oh God, I don't have the fucking thing up. I think our coverage starts. Now I gotta remember time zones. 3:00 Eastern on Saturday, which is we're gonna start our stream around 2:30 Eastern on Saturday for our coverage of that. So we'll probably preview a bit more and talk to the other people on the show, so you can check that out then. But what I was gonna say before, in terms of VR, before I move on to Microsoft's coverage. Zeke, Microsoft. Do you think the porn VR booth is going to be back this year?
I don't see why not. I would imagine that they have probably made leaps and bounds since last year. Like, because when I went, and that's probably, I don't know, percentage-wise, like 25, maybe 30% of the reason why I got a Vive.
Yeah.
Was to try out the porn.
I mean, honest, that's an honest purchase right there.
No, but last year it was only 180. Like the porno was only 180. I could only see like this far, and everything else behind that line was black.
Yeah.
I just want to point out the leaps and bounds that have happened in the world of VR porn in the last year is like next level, to the point where it's almost uncomfortable, like a little borderline.
Oh,
like,
dude, if they stare into your soul, it's over. You're done.
Yeah, like you're just like a kid.
That's the Vulcan death grip, Jesse. You don't want in VR porn, if you know what I'm saying.
I can't even lie to you. There have been numerous. It's also, we need to find a way to make it not so much work. Like VR porn is just a lot of effort.
Jesse, what if I told you? Actually, it's illegal in many states. Never mind. I won't tell you what I was going to tell you.
Just a lot of work. VR porn's a lot of work. And I'm like, So I'm just saying, work on that too.
Well, it's okay. Okay, listen. If you've ever been in a relationship, you know sometimes you bang out a quickie. But sometimes you want to wine and dine the other person or yourself.
So you want
Same with jerking off. Like, it's not an every time thing. It's like, I've got tomorrow off. I can stay up late. I can browse as much as I want. Like, no one's going to walk in on me.
Yeah, but you don't have glasses. I have to have, like, glass on glass. Yeah. Like, it's just a struggle. It's the struggle of a person wearing glasses. I can't truly appreciate VR porn because I feel like I'm scratching my glasses while I'm watching two.
No contacts.
Yeah. I will say, take a moment out of your life.
Well, the glasses are there to protect your eyes from,
Well, yeah. Just some advice, pro advice to any of you out there with any sort of VR software. Go find Overcrotch. It is a phenomenal video featuring someone who I think is maybe Russian as Widowmaker and a girl named Tracy who goes, "Tracy here!" And it's literally the worst effing thing you've ever seen, but she's a classic.
Zeke, I will warn you. And we didn't talk about this yet. Maybe it's worth talking about.
But okay, hold on. Before we move off of this.
No, I'm not moving off this. But
okay, I just want to mention something. It's funny that they use Widowmaker and Tracer as their people because if you look up cosplay porn, I've heard these things. That it's like 80% diva.
Yeah.
Like all like it's tons of diva.
Yeah.
Diva's just a bodysuit you buy online and call it a life. Like that's one of the easiest ones for me.
That's why it's easy to yeah.
Okay.
Zeke, I do want to remind you and potentially everyone because it could kind of change E3 moving forward. This year's open to the public. So that VR porn booth might be fucking popping. It might be stupid busy.
Exhibitor badge. I get to go in an hour early, baby. I'll hang out.
Yeah, I'm just letting you know. I'd go on the first day, first hour, because it's gonna get dirty up in there, Zeke.
I am so mad I deleted the photo, or else I'd send it to you. I took a photo of that booth, largest line at E3, largest line.
I remember Zeke saying the same thing.
Could not get enough of it, and then there was just people filming other people doing it. It was the biggest event there. Was just filming people watching porn. It was crazy.
That is really odd. That's an odd thing to think about. Everyone knows what's going on in those goggles, all right? And they're just sitting there filming away. It's an odd thing. I want to see what that Zeke. You need to report on I think you did it last year. We need a Twitter video as soon as possible from the VR porn booth at E3. Can you do that for us? We'll show it live on the stream.
If they, you know what? Yes, of course. I will definitely do that. I will take a video. I will send it to you guys.
So quickly.
Yeah.
But
E3 porn report. There you go.
No, it's not. Okay, I'm not a young man anymore. I can't just, get off immediately, by a gentle breeze. But I will say that after a few minutes, I had to take the. What?
What? I don't want to wait. Hold on.
I don't know, Jesse. Don't worry about the jump. We don't want to know how he got from here to there. All right, just let him go.
Wait, no. In this
Did I
scenario,
just hear something?
in this scenario, you literally were talking about how you would go to this booth and you're like, I'm not a young man anymore. I can't get off of some. Are you saying that if you were a young man and you went to this booth, you would just be uncontrollably ejaculating everywhere?
Oh, it'd be like a.
I'm so glad that our sponsors fell through this year, man. Woo!
It'd be like a popped fire hydrant.
Woo! The conversation I would have had.
You have to put a cup on the end to get it to spray down.
Good God.
I'm so glad you're here, Jesse. These guys just give me dirty looks.
Jesse, you are a terrible influence.
No, I'm saying I had to take the headset off because I felt tingling because it's porn. You're watching fucking porn.
No, it's got to be. I think that's so fucking. It's got to be so fucking weird to sit there, watch porn, and know the second you take that off, there's a guy in line who's done nothing but stare at you as you're fucking watching porn.
No.
Do they put you?
You misunderstand the situation.
Okay.
No one's looking at anybody in that line. No one's fucking looking at anybody. Everybody's just like.
It's like one long line of people that are walking into one of the XXX stores. They're all just shuffling and kind of got their collars turned up. And...
Oh my God.
Exactly.
You're the realist.
No one's talking. No one's saying anything.
You're
Everybody
right.
knows why they're there. They're just like, and
You're
I
right.
just this is
Zeke, you know what you need?
Oh, no.
Zeke, do this for me. Do this. Oh, got it. And try to record it if you can. When you're in line and the guy or the person in front of you, probably a guy, finishes and puts the headset down.
Finishes.
Walks up.
Pick a different word.
Walk up to him. Put your hand out to shake his hand. Put your other hand behind his back and say, "Hey, man, how was it?" And give him a firm handshake and truly ask him about the experience.
That's what happened to me.
Oh,
you know that.
Someone actually did that to you?
I got the thing is hey, I'm with blah 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 website. I just wanted to ask you how the VR experience was.
God damn it. Okay.
I told you about this.
Yeah, you're right. I forgot about that. All right. Well, we'll get a E3 porn report from Zeke. Let's move on to Microsoft. When there's not much, man. I don't know what they're gonna. Well, there is some. They got new fucking hardware to show. They got to show Scorpio off. We're gonna get probably an actual name. We're gonna get a price tag. Probably a release date. Probably a game. They have to have some big game to launch with Scorpio, I would think. I don't know what it's Sea of Thieves.
Crackdown 3.
Yeah.
Is there any way that this cannot be a huge flop?
I don't think it'll be a big flop.
The game or the Scorpio?
The Scorpio.
Man,
I think if they price it properly, I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. If they come out and say it's $399, I think that thing will sell well. A quote 4K ready machine for non-PC gamers.
60 FPS, all that?
No, 60 FPS is a pipe dream. Mm-hmm. Just forget about that.
That's what everybody wants, though, right?
Yeah, that's what people who have played 60 FPS stuff want. I think that for the most part, and maybe I'm misspeaking, but I think console gamers are totally okay with 30 FPS.
Do you really think it'll be $399?
I don't know. I think that's low. For a 4K ready console, I think that's low, especially with the hardware.
I think it's very low.
Yeah, with the hardware they've said is supposed to be in there, it's very low.
real talk, I would use my Xbox if there was stuff to do on an Xbox.
Same here. I think
Currently,
we're all in agreement.
It just sits in my home and is my Netflix and HBO Go.
Here's the
and
thing.
like all my services. That's
the thing that I'm super excited for. It's the one game on the Xbox One that I could give a fuck about. It's Sea of Thieves.
Yep.
Everyone's fucking That's for those.
Is that PC too?
I don't think so. I think it's strictly just for Xbox.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. That's the pirate game. The pirate like open world-ish game. I don't know how to describe that.
It's a co-op scenario with open world hubs kind of thing.
Yes.
It looks actually pretty cool. Like I thought it looked kind of cartoony and weird at first, and then we saw like the YouTubers play Sea of Thieves, and that just
it is
dumb.
Windows 10 according to chat.
Yeah, it looked terrible. But then like I talked to Adam I talked to some people at Microsoft a little bit more, learn a little bit more about the project. It's actually really interesting. Like there's a lot of randomized loot, a lot of co-op kind of stuff. A lot of PvP kind of stuff. I mean, it looks like it could be damn fun.
Yeah.
I played it last year. The craziest and I think best thing about it is, and this might change, but at least the build they had, there was no set crew number. So if you want to have a crew of people on your ship, you can have all your friends on board and they don't have to be on another ship. Sure, you can get another ship and have your own fleet and have friends on that ship and start to build out your armada and stuff. But if you want to have one ship with all your friends, and then you're like this badass pirate crew that just, you all invade other boats and then sink them and stuff, you can do that. And there is no set, there's only this position and this position. People can do a million little things on this boat to keep it going. And sure, it's cartoony and silly, but
I think the art style's fine, yeah.
Yeah, the fun part of it is, in the demo we played, you started on an island and literally was in a bar, and we just got shit-faced drunk and ran out to this boat, sank our boat a few times, like swam around and climbed up on someone else's boat and took their boat. It was a blast. Like it was really fun.
I'm gonna pull up some footage from this. I think this is like the one game, unless they drop a new Halo, which I'm only interested in for the single player experience, which business wise it makes sense for them to launch a new piece of hardware with a Halo game. It's the biggest fucking Microsoft Xbox property there is in terms of just people. If you play video games, you know what Halo is. It has that much of a pull to it. And I think it would make sense for them to announce like Halo 6, 7, whatever number they're on is the game to launch Scorpio with whenever that comes out. But at the same time, if they're like, yeah, Sea of Thieves also is a launch title for it, that'd be fucking great.
A lot of chat is saying that there was no Halo announced at E3.
Right.
Oh, they're saying they're not going to announce it. Oh, okay. Well, fuck. I don't know. They got to do something crazy then. You can't show new hardware unless you have a fucking crazy app for it, right?
Dude, it's weird because when I looked down the Microsoft thing, the only kind of next iteration was not very big, and that was Crackdown.
Yeah, who want
like? Do you think that'd be a launch, like the launch title? That would
Could
be.
They finally release Below, the game that like literally has been in development forever?
But that
Below?
Yeah, Below is that's the Cappy.
It's the Capcom game, yeah.
No, not.
No, that's Deep Down. Shit, what is Below?
Below is the indie game.
Damn it, I was thinking Deep Down. Never mind. Below is an indie. Deep Down, wherever that game is. If that
that game's dead.
Sees the light of day.
Yeah, that's Capybara. That's what I thought. Yeah, but Below has been shown for like years, and I think they said it was going to be out this summer-ish, and then they missed that date or something like that. But that's not a 4K powerhouse needed box. Like you could play that on a fucking 1080 on
so what the hell do they have?
I don't know. What do you show?
Someone was joking in chat, but I gotta admit, it would be hilarious if their launch title was supposed to be scaled down.
Oh my god.
Oh god.
That would be so hilarious because they were really hyping that for a while, and then we're just like, oh, never mind.
Yeah.
What? Oh my
Again,
god. What do they even do?
That's what I'm saying. Like the only thing that Microsoft could really show that I'm super fucking stoked about is Sea of Thieves. I don't know what you launch. The fucking Scorpio.
Oh, and by the way, chat pointed out also that Sea of Thieves is coming out on Win 10.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Then
so
why?
We don't even like. It's not even an Xbox One exclusive at that point.
And I argue this point.
Or Xbox Scorpio? Is it called Xbox Scorpio?
No, Scorpio is the project name. They're going to give it an actual name at E3.
Okay.
But here's the thing. Someone we were just talking about this the other day in my chat. People were complaining like, oh, they're not hyped for E3 at all. The only reason I'm super fucking stoked for Scorpio to come out is it means it creates a new baseline for games that come out on the PC from Microsoft, which means that whatever games they come out with are going to look that much better because they're going to have a more powerful base to start with. That is with the understanding that they start with the Scorpio or whatever it's going to be called and not the Xbox One. Right? Because that's such a weird thing. If a game can only be played on Scorpio, that like splits the fucking community or the audience in half. So how do you do that? That seems fucking bizarre.
Well, one thing though is since the Scorpio is kind of a leapfrog system, they can't abandon the base of the One. So they're going to have to develop everything with the One in mind until the next generation anyway. So unfortunately, the Pro and the Scorpio aren't going to have the effect you just said.
Yeah, maybe you're right. Unless, well, again, like, do you have...
Unless they do enhanced editions like they did with Neo, which is a possibility, where they make like
the
options you can turn on to take advantage of the new hardware, and then we kind of just have to deal with that until the next generation comes out and then leapfrog. Like, once the new baseline is 2 new systems, once we aren't at these weird 0.5 things, which is going to be... It's going to be interesting if this 0.5 system trend picks up, by the way, because this is the first time that's happened.
It is, yeah.
But once we get to like the next generation, I think that will really do it, or really show us. But what else is kind of interesting though is with these leapfrog systems, could this be the end of that type of thing? Could we just see partial little incremental upgrades instead of them releasing the PlayStation 5? Like, what if we're going to see something else before the PlayStation 5? And what's going to designate a leapfrog system as opposed to a next generation? So I don't know, man. It's weird, but these two systems are definitely.
It's like the iPhone model. They're just going to keep bumping it up a little bit every year. So the next year is like, this is our 0.5 version, and then next year's the real one, and it works for them. So I think a lot of people are like, well, not everyone needs to jump on our console
just the
train.
Enthusiast, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And so maybe they're betting that people will buy games, and the games are what's going to keep everything afloat rather than consoles. Because I think most companies end up losing money on console
at the start. Yeah, at the start. I think that's how it works out. Because they try to make a better price point, right, for the to get more adoption or people to adopt the console. What was that, Zeke?
Why aren't they jumping into VR?
Because it's an enthusiast product. VR does not make money.
But so is the Scorpio, right? Like it's very weird to me.
Did the PSVR not make money?
It just crossed 1 million sold the other day. I read that. So.
And you're talking about competing with like games that are selling not only multiple millions, but then all of those games added up is versus the stuff on the VR.
Yeah.
That was an honest question. I was honestly asking. I don't know why they haven't. And that was a decent answer. But I will say this. The reason I bought a PS or PS4 or PS Pro, was VR, was PSVR.
Right. And I think that's what they're going to try to sell is everything they show at E3 from Microsoft they're going to have the fucking 4K tag as gigantic as possible because that's really the idea behind the Scorpio is to push 4K on everything they're putting out for a console experience.
Another big thing with VR, we will get to the point where there are cheap throwaway decent VR headsets. Mm-hmm. We will get to the point where your brand new PlayStation 6 comes with a VR headset at no extra cost, just like it would a controller. And the deluxe edition would include it at very little extra cost. Once we get to there, that's when VR is going to take off. When you can get like just throwaways, that's when we're going to see VR really be something special. And by then, the tech for those throwaways will probably be better than we have today. And they'll probably be wireless and hopefully, with just one little cord for power. I mean, they're already doing that with some of the Oculus stuff. So totally. Once that shit hits, you're going to see VR really take off. It's been good this last year. It's starting to creep in, but as an enthusiast product, but it's not mainstream. And that's when when it starts making money, when the average person can buy it and use it and play it, that's when you're going to see this stuff really take off.
Yeah. Here's some pre-alpha in-game footage of Crackdown 3, which the destructibility looks fucking rad. Like, those buildings are getting blown the fuck up. So we'll probably see some more of that. I think that this potentially might be, and actually seeing this footage kind of has me excited to see what it is, where it is now, to be honest. Because just saying the name Crackdown 3, I get a very lukewarm response internally. But besides Sea of Thieves, Crackdown 3, we'll probably see more Cuphead, which I think the indie nuts and really anyone that just likes games, who has ever seen that game, really wants that to finally come out because it fucking looks
So unique,
unbelievable.
man.
Yeah, so unique. I'll put up some footage of that.
What is the just for you guys and for anyone in chat? How many of you not only own a 4K TV but use the 4K in that 4K TV on a regular basis?
I do.
Like I can't understand why their push is let's make it 4K rather than 60 FPS. Like I don't, and I get because 4K is an easier selling thing. Like
no,
it's 4K.
It has nothing to. It's to sell TVs.
But those
to
are
be
like
fair,
Sony
I use it about
TVs.
10 times more than now that Netflix has a 4K
Exactly,
option.
yeah.
Like,
I use 4K
now
all the
that
time.
these systems are catching up with being able to actually stream 4K, like if I watch a show, it'll straight up tell me, hey, there's a 4K version of this. Want to watch that? And I'll be like, hell yeah, I do. So I mean, as that more picks up, I'm using it every night pretty much now. And Amazon Video has a lot of, I think, has a lot of 4K stuff too.
Yeah, they do. They do. Most of the Netflix original stuff that Netflix puts out, I would say a very large percentage is 4K stuff, and I use it. I watch a ton of Netflix. That works for me. But at the same time, Jesse, to go back to your question, people are trying to push 4K because people stopped buying 1080p televisions because the price. Well, one, because everyone already has one, right? The price is so far down on those, and now the new thing is 4K TVs. That's the 2K. That's the big purchase, right, for a lot of people. But they don't have anything like we're talking about just now. They don't have the content for it. So now with these game consoles coming along, that's the big push for 4K, especially for someone like Sony who makes fucking televisions.
Yeah, I just
okay. I just want to say, like, coming from somebody who, like, I don't really get all jacked up about super awesome graphics or super awesome like visuals. Like when people were saying, "Oh my God, Blu-ray." Fucking Blu-ray is so much better than DVD. Yeah. And I watched it and I went, I can tell the difference, but it doesn't really affect me all that much. Like DVD from VCR, huge leap.
Sure.
No tracking, no lines, just nothing like that. But DVD to Blu-ray was a small enough leap for me where I was like, I'm not going to pay 4 times as much for a fucking Blu-ray.
I think you're not alone in that statement. I think a lot of people feel that way.
And that's what I'm saying, like 1080p to 4K, like it's you can tell, but it when I'm fucking eating Cheetos on my bed watching fucking whatever Daily Show or whatever the fuck I watch, it doesn't make that big of a difference to me between 1080 and 4K. It's like, oh, I can see Trevor Noah's fucking pores now.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely. I agree with you. The jump from 480p to 1080p is gigantic. 1080p to 4K is still gigantic, but it's not as much as like a striking visual jump, so to speak. So that's going to be that Microsoft has to try to get people excited for 4K with what they show, 100%. I think they probably have the toughest conference going into E3. And they're going to have to show some fucking incredible games to keep people excited about the Scorpio.
They have no exclusives. Like, I can't figure out what their killer exclusive is. There's just none.
Sea of Thieves and Crackdown.
But, like...
And that's the other thing. You're saying exclusive. I think what you mean by that is it's not only on Xbox. You could play it on Windows. So that's another thing that they got to convince people is, like, why should I buy a console when everything that you're putting out is coming out on PCs? And I have a great PC.
They're butchering their own audience. Like, it's crazy. I can't figure it out.
Well, they're butchering their own audience to the benefit of people that play PC games, right? Like, I think that I look at the Scorpio, and I think I said this at the beginning. I look at that as a sub $1,000, hopefully lower than $500, 4K machine that can play games that look better, that look somewhat similar to what you see on the PC that people can buy. And for everyone else that already has a good PC, you don't fucking care about that system.
Dude, I got to be honest. If they have no strong release titles and they price it over $500, that is a system that's going to have a troubled launch.
100%. Yeah. I think he's killed a bug or something.
There's been this huge fucking housefly just flying around this whole thing, and he finally landed right on my fucking camera.
He just wanted to be on. He was
Yeah,
like, "Hey guys,
that's
I have
great.
opinions on E3
I
too."
could not let him go. Like, this shall not pass. Sorry.
No, it was perfect. It was well timed. It was right after Co said his thing. It made it dramatic. But yeah, I'm
I
right there
thought
with
you were
Co.
a huge Microsoft fan for a second.
Yeah.
How dare you?
Yeah.
No, okay.
It's like
Just
a slap across the face.
quick question. How much do you guys think? And we might be spoiled for not spoiled for choice, but might not know the answer. But how much is it for a decent PC that will be able to run 4K stuff?
Like 1,500-ish, around there, maybe a little bit more. I mean, the biggest thing there that you obviously got to think about is probably the graphics card, which is good to run you from 600 to 800. CPUs are about 200 to 400, and everything on top of that is not that expensive. Really comes down to what type of monitor you're going to play it on. Does that factor in monitor or not? Because I think 1,500 probably works.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think 1,500 works, not barring a 4K monitor that you have to buy as well.
Yeah, the lowest one that I can find
Well,
that isn't like junk is $1,200.
Well, you got to take the monitor out of it because you have to get that for 4K on Xbox anyway.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like that's like on sides of the equation, those are equal, so you can get those out of there.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering, like, would it be a more prudent investment to put like a PC on layaway and just pay on it? Like, I mean, I'm being serious here.
Right.
Or pony up the dough for an Xbox. Like, I think if it were me, I would say, all right, I'm not going to get a PC for a while because I still have to pay on it. Or, I mean, it'll take longer to pay off, but would it be worth it in the long run?
You're absolutely right. The more consoles become like PC and what they can offer and the hardware and technology inside of it, the less sense it makes to own one, because just get a PC, you can do way more with it. Like, I get console gamers are like a different
at the
group,
same time.
still.
At the same time, I think there's something to be said that people just want to go to the store, buy a box, take that box home, take a thing out of it, and plug 2 cables into it, into their TV, and be done. And for some people, like, the hassle is worth going a console route than it is the PC route.
Also, another big thing to think about, and somebody was actually talking to me about this just a few days ago. You don't gift PCs, but you gift consoles all the time. Like, think like Christmas morning kind of stuff, and like mom buying kids stuff, and grandparents buying grandchildren stuff.
Right.
You never buy them PCs.
You gift laptops.
Always consoles.
You gift laptops, not desktops.
And tablets.
Yeah, and tablets. Yeah, for
sure. But I
mean,
mean, it's just like I think that speaks to what you were saying, JP, about it just being the total package. Like, this is what people understand. Oh, you like video games? Well, this is what you need.
Right.
This is the device for that.
Right.
So I think there'll always be a place for that, honestly.
Totally. Yeah, I don't think they're going anywhere. It's just, and this is more for our backgrounds. I think PC, like, all the way, obviously. But for the majority of people, you're gonna see it come down to: do I buy a PS4 Pro or do I buy a Scorpio or whatever the Xbox is called that they announced on Saturday or Sunday, whenever that is.
And dude, I gotta
it's not
be
even
honest.
fucking close for me.
Dude,
like,
you look at the
even
library.
close.
It's not even
library
like,
wise, yeah. But if the Scorpio is a big enough advantage hardware wise and it's similarly priced, does that make up the gap for all the content that is on PS?
No, not at all. It doesn't matter how powerful your system is if you have nothing cool to run on it.
That's true. It's true.
That's why no matter what Genesis did back in the day to make their thing more powerful than Super Nintendo killed it.
Yeah,
Because Super Nintendo had the games.
Sure.
That's just a fact.
Blast processing.
Yeah, they kept like, stick this thing and this thing, and then you have a CD as well, and it was like, you have no games though. No one wants to play it. Sure, it looks cool, but no one cares. I'm gonna go back to my SNES and play a game that's 10 years old.
Yeah.
I got Final
I'd
Fantasy
still
3,
rather
and that'll last
play-
me 3 months.
Yep.
Yeah, I'd still rather play an 8-bit Nintendo game than a Genesis game.
Yeah. Some of the other things to note is that Microsoft has a marketing partnership with Middle-earth: Shadow of War. I bet you that's something that they're going to show running on the Scorpio, is that game.
Quick question.
What's up?
Does Microsoft, and this is a question out of ignorance, does Microsoft have any type of system that competes with PS Now?
They have backwards compatibility, but it's only for
No, I mean like
specific
bringing
games.
like the old consoles into the new generation. Also, Nintendo has a comparable system with their new thing where you can play old Nintendo games. Does Microsoft have anything like that?
They're calling it backwards compatibility, but it's only specific games. Like you can't play all 360 games, but some games have been ported over. There's no like.
Okay, cool.
I think PlayStation Now is obviously a little bit different because that's like play our library of games and pull them from the cloud, which is
Chad
kind
is
of
saying Game Pass.
okay. Game Pass. I did not know what that is.
All right, cool. I will look that up. Thank you, Chad. The only reason I brought that up is I was going to say if they didn't have something like that, like
Yeah.
that's the nail in the
I mean,
coffin. Like,
again, I don't know what Game Pass is, but apparently it's a thing. So
I can find that for you right now.
Dude,
Game
we've got
Pass
so much
is
shit to get-
we have a
Game
lot.
Pass is
But we got an hour and a half.
100 Xbox One games and backwards compatible Xbox 360 games for $9.99 a month. You can download the games directly to your Xbox, and
Dude,
it
if you
has
Google
every game has
Pass-
every related add-on as well.
If you Google Game Pass and click on the top link from Xbox, it shows Zeke shrugging.
What?
And then every 5 months they cycle in new stuff. They say,
It's just me going, eh.
yeah.
Whoa! It actually is Zeke. What
Zeke,
the
Zeke on the
fuck?
front be like, it's
That
not
actually-
PS Now, but it's something.
That's
Oh
actually.
my god.
I mean, it's
Fuck
Danny.
you, man. Fuck you.
It's Danny McBride.
Danny McBride.
But that's. I mean,
God damn it. I thought you were kidding. It is me. Oh my god, it's me.
it's close. No, I don't want to try Microsoft
More
Edge.
is better. Xbox.
Asshole.
Listen. The fucking console wars have not learned anything. It's like Genesis does what Nintendo don't. You know, it's the same fucking thing. It's like do the math.
Yeah.
In fact, I think do the math was a fucking slogan back then.
For like,
I gotta
do
say,
the math over
that
the
Nintendo
specs.
don't line. That should have ended the console wars right there. Like when you come up with something that good, like Nintendo just should have said, you know what, you deserve it. Just take all of our shit. Just,
I think it was a TurboGrafx 16. It's like we do 16-bit. They do 8. Do the math.
Do the math. Yeah, I
Not
love that
fucking
old shit.
thing.
I love that old shit.
There's the same fucking arguments. It's great.
I think that's the selling point for the Scorpio, which is the new game. Let's like Shadow of Mordor, the new one. Literally just put
Middle-earth,
that
yeah.
side by side with the PlayStation version. Be like, look at how much graphically cooler it looks. That's the only selling point they have right now.
Yeah.
Is just doing that kind of stuff. Like we just look better. Do the math. We have more pixels.
Yeah.
Get wrecked, Sony.
I think to summarize kind of what we've all been saying, Microsoft is going to show Crackdown, Sea of Thieves, Scorpio, and then who fucking knows? Like probably a bunch of new IPs to try to get people excited for the console.
I hope for their sake they have a sleeper.
I really do
I
too.
really hope there's some big announcement that they just a Fallout 4 style 2 years ago drop a bomb and they're like, oh, you want a Scorpio? Here's why you want it. Boom, and like just.
I mean, they could
go crazy.
could go the Saturn round and be like, hey, you want a Scorpio? Well, you can buy one now. They're in stores. Go. And then people are like, but why?
As long as the price is good.
yeah.
For only $8.99, you can get it right now.
I want to do a Price is Right thing here. What do you guys think the price of the Scorpio is going to be? I'll start. I'm going to say $399.
I'm gonna say $4.99.
I think that's the safe one. I think mine's a little dangerous. Jesse, Zeke, what do you think?
It's got to be a round number, so they got to be like, and you can buy it this Christmas for $449.
I'm gonna say $1.
Damn it. You took the low. Okay.
No,
Man.
honestly, it's gonna be like $499 or something like that. Truthfully, it has to be. It can't be any higher. That would be insane.
But then that begs the next question: like, what's gonna be the bundled title that comes with it? Like,
That's
what's gonna be that splash art on the front of the release Scorpio box?
They got to have a big game, dude. They have to have a
Connect.
big game with it. Yeah. We're bringing back
Connect is
Connect in 4K. It's better than ever.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. All right.
Connect Fitness.
Connectimals.
Yeah. Connect. Well, Jesus Christ.
It'd be like Scary Spices Zumba.
Oh God. All right. I want to pose a question to the three of you. Do you guys want to take a break or do you want to go to the end of the show? Because we're at
I gotta
break
take-
time.
but we don't have to have a break. I can just be back in a minute.
Okay, go to the restroom. We're gonna talk about Bethesda. We're not taking a break. No breaks.
Fucking don't say anything important about Bethesda.
No breaks on this train, because otherwise we won't get done. Let's jump to Bethesda. I'll start before Code does whatever he's gonna do. Officially announced game. None. There's no officially announced games going
I'm
in this
so
fucking
hyped.
conference.
I love that I don't know anything.
There's zero
It's like
games
Christmas
officially
morning
announced.
for fans. It's great.
Yep.
This is so cool. Like, I love the fact that no one has any information on Bethesda's showcase. I also love the fact that when talking to the community manager a month ago, they're like, "We've never prepared harder for an event."
Oh my god.
What do they
There's
like?
just their whole company out there, basically. Like, literally, we were going to potentially have someone like. Well, we were interested in talking to them about doing a thing for E3, and they were like, "We have no one available."
So this
Everyone's there.
This came out about a week ago, 2 weeks ago for the Bethesda Land thing, and I don't know. They put out there's an image which I don't know how to get to. Let me pull off here that has the different games that they might show. How do I make this image bigger?
Okay.
This is what it is.
Let's get some of this stuff out of the way, though. Like, there's going to be Legend stuff there about their card game. There's going to be stuff about ESO Morrowind. There's going to be stuff about Fallout 4 VR. This is the stuff we know. There will most likely be information on a mobile game that has been already hinted at. We know that Bethesda's working on a mobile game, and we also know one of their subsidiaries is working on a mobile game. So we'll most likely see information on potentially 2 different mobile products. There has been mumblings of a new IP, and we do know that last year they said that there would be information on Elder Scrolls 6 potentially at some point this year, and a lot of people theorized E3, but of course that's totally out in the air. And I will say, if there's anything at Elder Scrolls 6 at this point, it is a feat that no one has heard about it yet.
Exactly.
VR.
Yeah.
So like it's a feat that no one's heard anything anyway. If
I
there's
agree,
any
Kyle.
big huge announcements from Bethesda, it's going to be awesome.
And Wolfenstein as well. There's Wolfenstein that
that's right.
exists.
And that was rumored to be
Also
shown
Evil
last
Dead
year.
2.
Evil
And
Dead
there
2.
may be another Evil Dead. That was what it was called, right? No, it was
Evil
Evil Dead.
Within. Evil
Evil
Within.
Within. Evil
There we
Within.
go.
Yeah,
I got my
both
Evil
those games
confused.
rumored to be shown last year. I remember that. Yeah, they didn't show them. I really do feel though, like if they come out and show a new Elder Scrolls game, that will be the talk of E3. Like that.
Oh, yeah,
The
they
Elder
would win.
Scrolls
They would
series
win.
has ascended to. I honestly can't even put another game in the same league as that. Like Skyrim's fucking massive. The Elder Scrolls series is fucking massive. And if they announce something new in that series,
It's been 6 years since Skyrim was released. So
think about that.
2 years ago, they stole
Maybe
E3.
GTA, yeah. GTA levels.
2 years
exactly.
ago, GTA would be big anyway. But 2 years ago, they stole E3 with Fallout 4. They could easily recreate that with Elder Scrolls 6, but actually on a broader audience. Like, people were pumped for Fallout 4 and it was big, but Elder Scrolls, as a Fallout fan, it kind of hurts me a little bit. Elder Scrolls is almost a more iconic series.
100%.
And it has a bigger prevalence than Fallout ever did. So
Yeah.
if they actually used E3 as a medium to really push a lot of information on that this time, that could rival Cyberpunk level stuff.
Yeah.
Which,
Yeah, man.
we'll get to that later. But yeah.
I think for
That'd
Zeke, you were talking about Fallout 4 VR. Is someone who doesn't really have too much of an attachment to Fallout. In fact, I'd wager say pretty much none. I would probably be interested in playing through Fallout 4 in VR if it's done well. Like, that seems like a game that could be very fucking cool in a full VR experience.
But
It's got to be done right.
But here's the thing with that. Fallout games are enormous, and they take hundreds. You can literally spend hundreds of hours playing them.
Totally.
In VR has a time limit of how long you can actually fucking stay in that helmet.
Yeah.
Because it's not that it's super cumbersome, but it's like wearing a motorcycle helmet all for hours and hours and hours at a time. Like, it's not comfortable for that long. So Fallout 4 VR would be awesome, but I would question its longevity because I don't know if I could play an entire Fallout the way I play Fallout games, completely.
Well, that's the crazy thing too, because and to speak to that point, Some people play Fallout games by walking into a room and going and grabbing everything in that room, seeing what it is, looking at it. Now imagine if you walk into a room in VR, you can reach out, grab a thing, spin that thing fucking 360 degrees around, stare at it as much as you want, put it down, and right below it is another thing. You pick that up, spin it 360. Like each object is something that you can fuck with in full VR. Like I agree with you. That would be a very, very crazy undertaking. I also think that
but even walking around in VR for a period of time, like it's like when you're not actually walking. Like PSVR is the only thing I have to go on. So I'm sitting down, but I'm like in the game, I'm walking. It's a funky experience, but for doing that for a long time, that would be, especially with the moving, like some of the VR, like especially with like Resident Evil 7 is the best example I can come up with. Even that very well polished game got a little funky when you're looking around, and they have like the dials on the clock movement. If you want, you can go like chink 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 all the way around,
they have the reset
or you can have
button,
it smooth. It's still like you have to take it off.
I couldn't handle smooth.
Real life, gotta go see with my real life with my eyes and stuff.
Yeah.
It's funny you say that, Zeke, because I actually could not handle the smooth in Resident Evil 7 VR. I got physically sick one day because I started getting, like, my body, it started feeling like I was having a panic attack. Like I was getting that weird kind of like, you're just a little bit dizzy and the color's draining from your face. And it was because I realized that when I was doing the panning thing, it was like my body was getting left behind. But sure enough, when I switched it back to the hard turning, the next day it went away. It was the fact that it was so smooth when I was reorienting my perspective. I couldn't handle it, man.
So here's
that was the first
thing,
time that's ever happened to
here's
VR.
The thing
I've
I want
done
to
space
say.
games in VR without any problems.
Here's the thing I want to ask both the two of you with what you just said. When it comes to VR, Doom VR is apparently a thing. Can you imagine playing Doom with how fast-paced the latest Doom was in full VR? Is that too much?
It would hurt my neck because I'd be like, my whole thing would be like this as I'm doing to the music,
Oh, yeah.
So like my VR heads, no, I don't think so. It'd be terrible to watch me stream that. Everyone would be like,
yeah, I think Doom VR is very odd, but I also think going back to Fallout, I don't know how you can show, like, VR is a very hard thing to show someone. It's more of you need to experience this thing, right? So like, what do they do in a conference setting besides just show someone in a camera, this is them playing with a headset on, and this is what they're seeing inside that headset? Like, I don't know if that's enough to feature too long on a conference.
And another big thing, man, is like, there's this game I'm playing right now called Everspace. I've talked about it on the show. It's a really cool game, but it's really fast. And it says when you start up, in fact, it even opens the Oculus Rift thing. Like, Everspace is a VR game, but when I play Everspace, I can't for a second imagine playing that in VR. It goes so quick and so fast. And when you're turning in VR, if your character's moving in VR, it gets just a little bit blurry and harder to see. So imagine playing a game like Doom in VR, like with as fast as it goes and how much you're whipping around and stuff like that. Like think about playing Doom and think about how fast you're moving your mouse around everything. How would you do that in VR? Think about like,
I know. Exactly.
Like, dude, how would you do that? Like, would that be enjoyable?
It would be a case of you probably aim with your head, right? Because there's no way that you would have to aim.
That would be a nightmare.
You would, like, how you can't. I don't know. I don't know how you do Doom VR and make it work. That seems like a fucking monumental task.
They have the eye tracking. I don't know that VR headsets have that, but I know that it does exist, that the eye tracking bars and things exist where if you're playing games wherever your eye's looking at, if you mouse in, that's where you'll go. So I know that stuff exists, and there's a possibility in the future that tracking stuff with your head and shooting and aiming with your head like could be a thing, but it doesn't exist now. Like, technology's not there in the headsets we have.
Yeah.
But even in a situation where you're tracking your eyes, like Jesse, you played the new Doom, right? Have you played it?
Mm-hmm.
So you get into those situations where you'll be standing in like the middle of a big room and enemies are spawning all around you. Like, are you expected to be like constantly turning around, like every level, every time you enter a new area, trying to find enemies and stuff? Like, it just seems like it would be too much.
Yeah.
And half the fun's turning a corner and just blowing away a guy, and not even like, it's the badassery of just like, I just shot at my demon, like, look at his ass. Like, there's that stuff too.
Yeah.
So
it's true.
Yeah, I don't know if we'll see a Doom VR. do you think Dishonored DLC is something that comes up? Like this is where we get in kind of their tertiary stuff.
Did the first Dishonored had DLC?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
It's really good.
Actually, some great
The
DLC.
Dishonored,
Yeah.
the Dishonored from the DLC from Dishonored 1 is literally the setup for Dishonored 2.
Okay.
And so in Dishonored 2, straight up, if you do the like low chaos ending, which you should, if they don't give you the obviously promised DLC that they like explicitly say will happen in that game, then that's unfortunate. Because like
Completely
the setup they make, you're like, I want this. I want this more than the game I'm playing. Like I don't even want to be a part of this anymore. I want to go on that adventure. Yeah. So
Sure. Okay.
No joke.
A lot of people actually think that may be a setup for 3. Like it could be that big potentially.
Yeah, and that's because it is. It is that big, and it's truthfully, I think, much more interesting. But that's just me.
Zeke?
No joke. I, not 3 days ago, finished my first playthrough of Dishonored 2 on my own. It's my like relaxing after cast game, and low chaos, of course. Low chaos. Nobody noticed me, and nobody, whatever. And I liked it, but I wanted to love it. Is that the way it was for the first game?
I recently,
because I liked the first game too. I didn't love it like I would say I love, Elder Scrolls or Fallout or whatever.
I recently uploaded the last of my like trying to go low chaos run, and at the ending. I played as Corvo, so maybe that's why I wasn't as connected to the story. Maybe the Emily storyline's better. I don't know. What I do know is that the end of Dishonored 1 gave you a solid, concise story, but had this massive mythos of this world out there that it didn't tell you a lot about, but you were like, oh my God, I want to know more. And so when Dishonored 2 came out, you were like, I can't wait to learn more. Dishonored 2, I think, was almost like a flip where the main story had a lot of loose ends that never really were dealt with. Like they're gonna give you just this much information, just this much but then the world lore they expanded upon greatly. So they gave you like sort of the flip side of it, and it felt like it was missing something, and I couldn't tell if it was because I played as Corvo, who is not supposed to be the main person you're supposed to play as, or if I was just playing a game where the main story wasn't nearly as good as the first one, and I just couldn't tell. And so I think I might have to go play Emily now, which is a thing. So
that's what I did. I played through as Emily. And the reason why I didn't put it on the broadcast, the reason why I didn't put it on the broadcast is because A, those games don't do very well for me, and B, I wanted to play through as Emily, but ever like when I played it for like however many hours I started, they were like, can you play as Corvo? Because everybody's playing as Emily. I'm like, yeah, of course they are.
The only reason I played as Corvo is because I literally went through the first game as Corvo, and I was like, I want to see his reaction to everything. Like I want to because they said it's two different story, like the way they progress. I just don't know. Something felt off about the ending where it didn't feel as complete. I didn't leave the game like, yeah, that was awesome. It was just like a lot of little nitpicks that I had along the way that just made me really sad. So because I love that franchise. I love it.
It sounds like you guys would be into some DLC then, or something from the Dishonored.
Definitely.
IP. Okay.
It's needed. It's very needed.
I want to move on. I didn't know about this. This is apparently a day or two old news, but apparently a game called Starfield is rumored to be shown. It's a new IP. Mute your mic for a second. Contain yourself, because I think you're probably about to really enjoy this. It is a sci-fi open world game from Bethesda. And it says in this thing from VG247.com, supposedly Starfield takes place in the Fallout universe in the far future. The game is going to have 5 to 10 races, as well as space travel and a hub world. Some of the game's world will be randomly generated, as well as Bethesda to court Minecraft / sandbox game fans. Starfield is based on a trademark registered by ZeniMax years ago, but the rest of the rumor is out there, so it's hard to believe anything beyond hopes and dreams. The leaker also mentioned secret agreement to HBO to develop an RPG based on the Game of Thrones, and said it's going to be the next big thing after Starfield. I feel like this is wild territory for Rumorville.
Real.
I don't know if this is real.
Yeah.
Hold
You
on.
almost
Game of
hooked me with
You
that.
said Game of Thrones.
I
in
think
there.
that stuff about HBO was fucking bizarre. But
That has
up
to be
until
fake.
that,
Like,
everything
that-
else seemed interesting.
Dude, I was like up to about Hub World. I was just like, oh, no.
But I think something
that
like-
sounds really. That's a great rumor.
I mean, with what you're saying,
Yeah.
Dude, they would never put a game in the Fallout universe and not have Fallout in the title. That's just dumb. Like, why would you do that? Why would you not want to
Yeah.
attach a very public franchise name and not put it in like
you're right. I agree with you. I feel like the only thing that I can really extrapolate from that is Bethesda has to have something like that of that magnitude, and the only thing that could reach that is what I just read, or the new Elder Scrolls game.
I gotta admit, they could, and of course, chat. Let me apologize in advance of this. They could announce a new Fallout. Now, what would be cool if they did announce a new Fallout is if they made it very clear that they had we have listened to your feedback. You know,
Yeah.
We are
Yeah.
bringing you the next generation of it would be cool if they were kind of like, yo, we know the Fallout 4 could have been a little bit better. Let's get back on track.
I feel like we're
that
in.
would be cool.
I feel if you do that and you also do
Now,
Fallout
let's
4
get the wall
VR.
of hell knows Fallout sucks. Just get it all out of your system, chat. Fallout 4.
Well, if you do that and you do the Fallout 4 VR, I feel like
Sleeper, we can do that one too.
The way
it's got to
they
be
win
Fallout
this,
4 fatigue at that point. Fallout fatigue. It's a real case. Go ahead, Jesse.
like the way they win this is the way they did Fallout 2 years ago, which was here's this mobile thing, and oh, by the way, here's the real game. And I think if they started with, yeah, so we're doing Skyrim for Switch, and we know everyone loves Elder Scrolls. Oh, by the way, here's 6. Shits would be lost, minds would be blown.
People would freak out.
Mm-hmm. That's the way you really do it. And they do great conferences. Every year the
They
Bethesda
do.
conference is super entertaining and really fun. And I expect great things from them this year. So
Same here.
I'm waiting. I'm really excited.
I do want to spend 30 seconds on this because I feel like it's worth mentioning. Fucking Quake Champions needs a goddamn. It needs to be shocked back into relevance, because right now, with the recent the recent beta thing, I felt like it just fell on the ground and no one's picked it up yet. I enjoyed the game.
I'll see you in 30 seconds.
Yeah, it's got to have something, man. They got to do something. They can't, if they come out and say we're going to show some new heroes and here's the full release date, and that's all they show for Quake Champions.
And 2 new maps.
Yeah, if that's all that Quake Champions gets, man, that game's going to have a very fucking tough time. It's going to be it's going to be real rough.
Dude,
It's
it's
gonna be
in the
real
same
rough.
boat as Lawbreakers. Just
It is.
too little, too late. This would have been a cool idea 3 years ago.
Totally.
When before all this stuff hit the fan, but now it's just it went from potentially cool standalone idea to just another one of the pack.
I agree.
And
That
I agree.
sucks, man.
you already got 10 other options, so
Yeah. Just a few seconds as well. Wolfenstein, the new Colossus. Great. Give me another Wolfenstein games. Those have been good. I
The
wouldn't
last
say
one was so good.
mind-blowing. They've been good. They've been good. And then Evil Within 2. As long as you don't do what you did in the first one in the final 30 minutes, I'm totally okay with that. Because the final area of that game, one of the most frustrated times I've ever had
That
playing a video
entire
game.
game was a frustration simulator. That game,
I like
Wasn't
it.
that
stopped
game
playing.
shitty?
At the very end,
Dude, I liked it.
I
thought
liked
it
it
was gory
too.
and weird and creepy, and I think it got a worse rap
Oh.
than it deserves.
The-
I mean,
That
I don't
was-
think
that
it was
was
going
third
for
person.
giant cogent
Yeah,
story. It was
it
going
was.
for kind of mind mess up. You don't really know what's going on even at the end. Is it what happened? Was that even real? I kind of think
I
that a lot of
agree.
people were expecting a concrete thing. And when they didn't get that, they're like, this game's dumb. It doesn't make any sense. I don't really think it was supposed to make sense. I think it was just supposed to be an evil, and I mean it this time, Evil Dead. Just kind of like a spaghetti horror.
I agree.
yeah,
And
but that'd
took
be
it
fun.
man.
A real Evil Dead game, I would have loved that instead. Just with Ash and man, that would have been great.
I think there is an Evil Dead game, actually.
But a good one.
Yeah.
A really solid good.
Yeah. Wait, is Battle Cry, is that the one that just went free to play?
That's the one that they
That's
announced
2K
the exact same
games.
time that Overwatch was announced.
That's 2K
Right.
games, right? That's not. Wait, is 2K owned by ZeniMax? Is that Bethesda?
no. I
I'm
don't think
getting
so.
my publishers mixed up now. I think that's something else.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Jesus Christ. Can we
Battle-
stop putting fucking battle in the title of shit?
Battleborn. I don't know.
Just all together.
I don't know. Let's move on. So that's all on Sunday, by the way. The Bethesda conference is at fucking midnight Eastern. So Co's going to be way up past his bedtime. Jesse, are you going to that one? Are you going to be there in person?
I will be there. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So,
Cool.
You know
I
what's
go
funny,
every
dude?
year to that one. That one's my favorite one. They nail it every year.
I'll be honest, JP. If it was any other conference, I'd skip it.
Oh, I know. I knew that. When you announced that, I was like, I don't need to ask him if he's still going to be there, right? Because he's probably still going to be there.
Not for Bethesda, man. Not for Bethesda. If any other conference, I just would have slept through it.
Yeah, it's very late. I think the next in line is the PC gaming show. We're not going to be covering that live because it's more of a show than a conference, but we'll definitely be talking about that in the post show next Wednesday. But the next actual conference after that is Ubisoft, which year after year, still my favorite conferences because they're always fucking zany. They're always fucking weird. But I'm kind of
That's with Aisha, right? Aisha.
Super quick before
She's
we
not
move
going
on.
to do it anymore.
What? She's not there? Hold on. Breaking
They
news.
announced she was not doing it this year. I think they're moving away from zany.
That makes me very, very sad.
I am not
She's
hyped
the
anymore.
awesomest
What?
Host.
Hold on. I gotta contain my freak out. What were we gonna say, Co?
Oh, I was just going to say real quick, as a quick note, I know we're not going to talk about the PC conference, but if there's going to be any Cyberpunk 2077 info, it is going to most likely be in that conference.
Sure. Yeah.
So it's definitely something to watch.
There will be cool stuff in the PC gaming conference. I definitely think you should
CDP.
watch it. We just won't be covering it.
Yo, CDP, don't mess with us. I want that game so bad, yo.
I think a lot of people do.
I will come to Poland and drag it out of that office if you don't freaking make it happen.
Yeah, I think a lot of people would. So
And I'll
wait
be the guy
fuck.
waiting in the car to drive
You're
you
my
away.
getaway driver. Oh, hell yeah. We'll jump in there and we'll karate chop and drag out files. So I'll be like,
Is
enough,
she-
let's go.
Is she really not going to be at Ubisoft?
It was announced like 3 days ago. I don't know if it's confirmed, but like the internet, I think she might have even said she wasn't going to be there this year. She was like, I hope everyone enjoys the conference or whatever. I won't be. I swear that happened. I know I'm not making that up. Yeah, she tweeted it. Like, that sucks, dude. Because she was the best part.
What
Everything else was
the
cringe as shit. And she
actual
made it
fuck?
entertaining.
She made that conference enjoyable, without a doubt.
She saved that conference at numerous points
Every
when it
year.
was getting awkward, when stuff was getting weird, and she not only kept the show going, but she in some cases even turned it around and made it hilarious from awkward,
Absolutely.
and then like moved
Yeah.
it forward. She saved them on more than one
What the
occasion.
fuck, man?
It is, if she didn't come back and it wasn't her choice, that's a bad move.
This is the Ubisoft E3 2017 lineup reveal from Ubisoft. So it's some dumb skit with their CEO. Where the fuck is Aisha? Look, she needs to be there, man. I'm actually upset about that. I'm really upset about that.
I really hope that speaking of awkward moments for Ubisoft, I really hope that Troy and there it is.
They
Yeah,
said South Park's going to be there. Yeah.
yeah. I really hope the South Park guys come out and just fucking shit on it.
Well, I hope they come out and they're going to be like,
these microphones are fucking stupid.
I
My
hope-
favorite line from E3.
I hope they really come out and be like, hey, the game's coming out December 2016. And then they all just kind of like wait and look back. Oh, fuck, we missed that? Well, sorry, it's going to be out later this year. Like, they have to probably address the fact that the game's been so delayed. Because that was one of the biggest things that they had going for Ubisoft, I think, last year, and it didn't come out. Far Cry 5, we get to go to Montana. We
That might
talked
be the
about
most-
that.
I can't wait. That's going to be the most controversial damn game of the year, and I can't wait to play it.
Why is that?
can't.
Because of the religious
It already
elements.
was.
It already is, yeah.
Like,
People are
you're just killing
crazy.
like religious dudes in Montana, so already people are up in arms like, whoa, oh, this is offensive.
Yeah.
It's no more offensive than killing people on an island or killing people in India. Or like
As
It's
soon
just
as it
'cause
was
it's like-
announced, so many people like asked me, like, "Hey, did you hear Far Cry's in Montana? What are you doing?" It's like it's just a rural place. That's
You know what?
any rural
So
place
dumb.
in America has the same kind of reputation.
Sure.
Doesn't matter if it's in Montana or Virginia or fucking Wisconsin. It doesn't matter. Rural people are small town people, and they're gonna be weird.
I think it'd be hilarious, though. I want to... I
They
want
are.
I
They
want
just are.
one person, and I don't think Zeke can get into the Ubisoft conference, but if he could, I would love for one person for them to be like, yeah, our game's set in Montana. And then you have that one guy be like, yeah, Montana in the crowd.
Yeah.
Because that'd be like the funniest but also saddest thing for someone to cheer for it. I would love that. So we'll see more Far Cry 5 stuff. I gotta ask.
I've had experience with like people like I went to like comedians, like stand-up comedians, like I went to college and blah blah blah, and there's one guy, woo, it's like, fucking really, dude.
Really, yeah. That's usually the answer. I think I know for Ko and Zeke, but we can kind of rehash it because we talked about Far Cry 5. But I'm not. Far Cry 5 was announced and shown, and I just go, oh, okay, cool. It's another Far Cry game. Like, they got to do something. I feel like Ubisoft as a whole they got to do something to the games that they put out to make them interesting again and not just be the fifth of that game.
Absolutely. And I think I don't know what their thought process is, but I'm convinced it's mistaken, and that for some reason they think mechanically and I guess story-wise, Far Cry 3 and 4, that's the reason why it sold. Like, people want that experience of climbing towers and they sold because they made compelling villains that people really wanted to see more of.
Yeah.
Like, the reason why Far Cry 3 sold as much as it did is because they had... Yeah, Voss was incredible, and you were like, I got to see where this goes. And every time someone watched it, they were like, I'm in. I want to see what happens. 4 was all right, but you notice Far Cry Primal, no one gave a shit about Far Cry Primal. And it was the exact same mechanics except, like, bow and arrow instead. Meanwhile, suddenly Horizon Zero Dawn comes out, almost the exact same thing. People love that game. like
it's because the story was actually interesting, man. Like,
yeah, I can't stress how wrong I think they are with their like, yeah, no, let's stick down there. If it worked before, it can work again. We just got to find a new way to do it. Like, no, you're not Telltale Games. Make something new, please. For the love of God, change it up.
Dude, they need their black flag. They've already done the same thing over and over. They made Far Cry 3. That was something special. They tried to recreate Far Cry 3 with 4, but they were trying to go too much for the same thing. So it was okay, but it wasn't as magical as the first time. And then Primal, they just went some other direction with it, and that was the wrong direction to go. And I think it rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. A, because I think Jesse nailed it, because no one could relate to Dick, the lead guy, whatever he was. Like,
yeah.
you didn't even talk to him. Like, it made no sense. And then it's like with this one, they need their black flag. They need some interesting new mechanic that players are going to see for the first time and go, whoa, like this isn't Far Cry. This isn't what I've done 100 times before. This is new. And then they're going to go, hold on now. And then all of a sudden, all that stuff they've done before is going to look a lot more interesting because there's this new mechanic that's kind of built around everything. Like, they need to push that structure forward. Not the game itself. They need to push the framework, the foundation of the Far Cry series to another place. But here's the thing. I got to admit, I kind of dig this setting.
Oh,
like,
totally.
I especially coming from like the Resident Evil and like the Outlast 2, like this is,
it could be creepy.
I really hope they nail this. I hope it's not generic evil racist white guy. I hope there's some like real cunning, crazy, serious shit that's going to happen in Far Cry 5 that really make it stand apart. I mean, I got to admit, I'm waiting to see gameplay before I get like excited for it. Or excuse me, I'm waiting to see the gameplay loop. I want to know what I'm going to do in the game. If it's the same thing I've done the whole time before, I may give it a run. But hey, I played Far Cry Primal I couldn't make it through 2 hours of Far Cry Primal. Like, I turned it off after 2 hours.
30 minutes
and I was
for me,
pumped. I announced a full day stream. I was hyped. 2 hours, I was like, I'm not interested in this. And I really hope I don't get that feeling in 5.
Yeah.
Judging by what they showed, it's very accurately Montana for sure. Like just the visuals, they're very accurate.
Sure, yeah.
Like,
I mean,
shit's old. Like, if you go the further out you go, the older shit is. Like the gas pumps and like the building, the town, like houses were built in like the 50s and shit like that. Like, that's pretty accurate. But as far as like Montana is not even when you get way out in the fucking boonies, it's not a super religious state. It's super red and super like Second Amendment.
Yeah.
But it's not super religious.
Okay.
Which is kind of something like we get like crazies, but they're not the religious crazies. Like the Freemen were not religious crazies. They were like fuck the government crazies.
Yeah.
You know,
it's
like
not
and
Bible
like
Belt.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah,
to be
that's-
fair,
exactly.
I think they are. I mean, they're from what I've seen, it looks pretty like there are religious tendencies, but I think it is more kind of like militia.
Well, they're
kinda
going
thing.
like they're going militia and more doomsday.
is it?
Anti-government. They're making their own kind of
Oh,
area.
that's spot on there.
Yeah, they're doing
There's a lot of people who are
anti-government.
Like, Montana's the best. Fuck the government.
But
you know,
they're also
it's
doing,
like
like-
smaller Texas.
They're doing doomsday things, like people, the fucking apocalypse people that think the world's gonna end, that type of shit.
One thing.
Yeah,
This is the
that's
part
not
that,
so much.
that I got to admit though. Every time I think of Far Cry 5, like if you think of a traditional Far Cry game, and I've mentioned this a little bit on the show before, but I'd like to know Jesse's thoughts on this. Like every Far Cry game before, they were in remote locations, so you could kind of buy when you're driving around, and there's like a little militia group that starts shooting at you from a base and stuff. How are they going to do that in a modern day America? That doesn't exist in a modern day America. So it's going to be weird. Like if there really is this little like area of land that these crazy white folks have taken over, like these days the army would just run it. Like they wouldn't set up. Like I'm very interested to know how they're going to make that believable
Yeah, you're right.
and immersive.
That's absolutely the key, because when you look back at the last games in 4, you're like you're trapped in the mountains. You're there with the man who wants you to be there, wants to keep you there, and is trying to win you over. And so it's this you're trapped. In 3, you're trapped on an island. And, like, there's no hope of escape, and both of those locations are locations where there is no rule of law. To set it in America, there has to be a setup.
They gotta do a
that.
setup like Escape from LA or some shit.
There's got to be something.
Yeah, are
Where-
there
where-
no cops? Do they not
Yeah,
exist
the
in
U.S.
this
has just
area?
been like, guys, nothing happens in Montana. Let's just give it to the fucking crazy people. We'll cut it out, cut the little corner out, and no one will ever go there. And that's the setup for Far Cry 5.
And see, then it goes to, you start thinking like, okay, well, they put it like out in the rural area, then maybe like it's out in the middle of nowhere. So like maybe they got, there's not a lot of cops, maybe, no one cares about it. But then it's like, well, then how are they going to make that environment interesting and have things to do?
Absolutely.
And not just be cow fields with cows to tip.
So
Like, at what point,
someone in
how
the
are they-
chat,
I don't know.
Someone in the chat just said you apparently play a cop. So that might answer it. That would be an interesting way of looking at it.
Okay.
Okay.
I think-
renegade cop who's got to kill everyone for fucking pigskins to make his pouch bigger. Like,
Yeah, oh God, help me. I think one of the biggest things in there that I'm worried about is, even in the trailer, they give hints at what the gameplay loop might be. And one of the things that's noticeable right at the top is whoever the crazy pastor is giving a speech over
Yeah.
a radio. And to me, that reminds me of everything in Far Cry 4, which was climb the tower, shut off the radio, so then you can make your own transmission that's like, don't listen to this guy, he's crazy. And so I feel like that, it almost seems like that's another loop that you have to go through, is climbing the towers again, unlocking the stuff. But the reason why you're doing the radio towers this time is because you're fighting back against his insane preaching. But like
This time, it's not a crazy white guy. This time,
they better do something. If they get in this speaks to the next game, which is Assassin's Creed, that they took a year off of making Assassin's Creed games to work on Assassin's Creed. If they show, they can't show, they just can't show towers. Like they have to get that is like such a joke in the video game world now, that the second you see a tower, someone makes an Ubisoft joke like that. Yeah. Towers and Ubisoft are synonymous with one another. So if they show that in Far Cry, or they show it in the new Assassin's Creed, if it's there, that sucks. They have to somehow make that a new gameplay thing that's not a fucking tower to climb.
Yeah. I can't figure out how they do that.
I don't know. It's so ingrained
games.
in open world now. Like open world games have towers to open up more stuff that you could see. It's fucking everywhere.
Be a pit. There's gonna be mines everywhere, and you have to go into the pot.
You got to go down. They're called pits down towers. God damn it! I just don't like. I just don't know what that is, and I hope they've somehow answered that in the year that they took off in Assassin's Creed and shared that with the Far Cry 5 people, or maybe Far Cry 5 is the final tower game, and the new Assassin's Creed that they show, they've finally iterated on that fucking system and created the new thing, because they were the people that made towers to begin with, right? They shaped kind of open world games for the next
Assassin's Creed 1, man.
10 years or however long it's been.
Yep.
So hopefully they can innovate on that and make something that's more interesting than climbing a goddamn tower. But when it comes to Assassin's Creed, there's a lot of things in that game that have to be iterated on to make it not just another Assassin's Creed game, because they fucking did the same format, the same system for so many games year after year without really changing a whole lot, that I'm not expecting to be blown away by what they show for Assassin's Creed, but I really hope I am. I hope I'm just as blown away by when you saw Assassin's Creed 2 the first time. You're like, holy shit, that looks like a new type of game. But I don't think I'm going to be. I really don't think so.
I just want Black Flag 2.
Yeah, and maybe that's what they do. They make a seafaring game. Because that was beloved, right? In an era where a lot of Assassin's Creed games struggled. Was Black Flag pre or post Unity? Was that pre-Unity?
Pre.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, wait. I'm thinking of... I want to say pre, but I'm not sure.
That's how many fucking Assassin's Creed games there are. I just can't remember when they came out. Before or after another. I really hope they show Assassin's Creed, and I hope it fucking looks awesome. Because I really like Syndicate, but Syndicate didn't do anything special. It was still Assassin's Creed at its heart.
Oh, yeah. It was, 4 became before Unity, big time.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. So we'll see. I hope they show that, and it looks fucking cool. I don't know. I don't know if there's anything else to see on or say on Assassin's Creed that I just hope they make it better. They don't make another Assassin's Creed game.
Let me just, guys, I just want to pitch this again. Every time I'm anywhere we talk about Assassin's Creed, I have to pitch this because I know Ubi, you be watching. Assassin's Creed World War II. Opening scene. As the doors go down and the men assault the beach on D-Day, a dude in a hood and cloak flips and twirls on the beach, murdering and assassinating people as gunfire is going by, and then he's the guy who single-handedly saves the day, because we never knew that story. He's the Tom Hanks of this story. And then he sneaks into Germany, kills Hitler. We never knew, because Hitler, spoiler, was after the Apple of Eden the entire time.
Wait. Was he also a vessel?
Yeah, was he an alien? Was he another alien person?
Here's the thing. He wasn't an alien, but the aliens were controlling him, and at the end, you fight a spaceship. I'm just pitching it. All I want to see is that cutscene where a man is flipping and twirling on the beach.
On Normandy? You just see some fucking asshole doing cartwheels and shit and throwing knives.
And all these guys are just like, what the hell?
Yeah.
I just want to see that. I just want to see that moment.
Here's a question I'll ask you guys. What time is Assassin's Creed? The big thing is the setting, right? Is what time and where? It was rumored a long time ago that they were going to, I think, feudal Japan was one of the settings. What's a setting that would actually make you guys not excited, but interested in Assassin's Creed?
Canada.
Oh my god!
What? He goes up to stab someone and just says, "Hey, I'm sorry, man." Just
Dude,
stab
he stabs somebody, and the 3 people around him back up and go, "Oh, did we get in your way? Oh,
I really
you
wouldn't
okay?
do that, eh?
Oh,
I really wouldn't do that, eh? It's probably not gonna be the best thing out there. Now, if you want to come, we can talk about it.
Fucking
He
Canada.
like walks over. He looks at the assassin. Should we call an ambulance or something?
And then you pull out your phones, a la Watch Dogs, and call 911 and fucking dial it in.
Someone very stressed. Would you like some water?
Yeah. All right, so Canada for Zeke. I'm into it. I'm into it, Zeke.
I mean, this should be simple. You have to go to all the like major historical spots. So Egypt, Japan. There's got to be somewhere in like a really, I guess technically Egypt is in Africa, but like there has to be like a very like I want to see like a badass tribal assassin, like a jungle stalker dude would be amazing.
So there was a before
Assassin's Creed Primal.
Before we even continue this,
I'd be down with that though.
Apparently, Assassin's Creed Origins was outed by a retail leak, and we're going to Egypt.
Damn. All right. Well, if that's the case, then if it says Origins, they better well have an explanation for literally an entire nonsensical storyline throughout all of these games, because it makes no goddamn sense.
I love. Can I just say how
Wait,
much
are
I
you talking about the
love
Desmond line?
being interrupted?
Sorry. I had to stop him. It's like, are you talking about the Desmond line being crazy?
I just think the first 2 games are phenomenal, and after that it goes off the rails. Everything just goes bonkers town. And I think I just like the past stuff way more than like what's
Modern
happening
day.
in Ergo, and like I just don't care.
Yeah, I don't. Egypt. I read Egypt. I'm just not excited. Zeke, I'm gonna let you speak though. Sorry.
No, it was just an anecdote. The only thing I'm actually good at. I can't say anything intelligent, so I was just gonna say I love how Egypt is the origin place for so many different mythoses. Like X-Men just had an origin in Egypt. Like this Assassin's Creed, like all kinds of different
It's the mystery.
fictional places.
Yeah, it's like the mystery of the pyramids.
Stargate, that kind of shit. Yeah.
The pyramids are fucking mysterious, man. People don't get that shit.
Oh my god, that's the crossover.
It's
Origins
Stargate.
is just Stargate.
I'm in.
It's-
Okay, I'm into
in. 100.
it. That'd be great. I'm not excited by Egypt though. Like
What time period in Egypt?
I'm not sure. I don't know if we can.
Is it like during the pharaohs and shit?
This is
I
this
think
is
that's
the leaked.
Yeah.
This is the leaked image or the apparent leaked image right here. It's like a gold copy. So I think it looks fairly old school Egypt because the pyramids are still open. I
That
don't know.
could be
Play
pretty
as
cool.
Moses.
Okay. I wonder if they're gonna go like the
Yeah.
primitive, like
Go kill
Stone Age
Moses.
Egypt.
Yeah,
Or, like,
play as
crazy
Moses
advanced
and you're
Egypt.
a badass assassin. It's canon now.
You get a hawk. That guy had a hawk on his shoulder. That'd be kind of cool. I don't know. Like, I'm trying to think if I'm excited or not about going to Egypt. I really feel like that's kind of Prince of Persia in some way.
Absolutely. That's the biggest problem is it's Prince of Persia now, if it's in Egypt.
Well, wait a minute. Persia is not Egypt.
I know.
Right.
But like
But the setting, the vibe.
the vibe,
Oh,
it's
okay.
like
Now that.
yeah.
Yes. Our apologies to literally
Yeah.
everyone of Persian descent.
Look, we're all dumb
so-
Americans. We fucking don't know geography at all.
Yeah.
But still, it's
all
gonna.
the same area.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah. I still think that it feels very much like Prince of Persia. I don't know. I guess we'll see.
Can people stop when we make fun of countries? Can we stop calling that racism? That's not racism. That's not knowing geography.
Yeah.
Stupidity. That's called being an
It's
American.
stupidity,
Thank you
yeah,
very
it's-
much. The greatest goddamn nation on earth.
Because we only know one nation on Earth. That's why.
Well, no, listen, like it's in our pledge, like one nation under God. That's the only one that's under God.
Yeah, that's all it's
That's
taught.
all it's taught.
Only one.
It's the one it's the only one that's taught in geography. Yeah. It's just a map of the U.S. It doesn't go. Globes don't exist here. The Crew 2. Does anyone care? Anyone?
The Crew 1 wasn't much, so I know
it-
they had tried to hype the shit out of that game, but no one, I don't know anyone who played it.
I played it, and at its base level, there's something there, but the Crew 1 as a game was not fun. I did not enjoy it past 30 minutes or an hour. But there's definitely something there about going across the U.S., which wasn't the U.S. at all, because it only took like an hour to go coast to coast or some shit. A giant space to drive around in with friends of that size. There's something there. And if they can finally have the horsepower behind it in terms of being on the systems now, or having this much development time, I guess really is what it is, then that's kind of cool. There might be something there. It might actually be a good game now. But
The concept on paper is phenomenal. The game that we got was not.
yeah. So hopefully that concept has gotten fleshed out a bit, because that's what we're going to see. Then there was a new IP that's apparently supposed to be shown, which Ubisoft is all about those, which I kind of think is cool. I like the fact that they're willing to throw out a new IP every year, because we get cool new stuff. I just hope it's good. A lot of people are saying Division Year 2 content might be shown, which when Ko said that there's still a good amount of people playing that, I was surprised to hear that, but maybe they can put out some new content for that. That'll be interesting.
Did they promise a plan with that, like an X amount of years they'd support it?
I don't know if they did this game's gonna last 10 years type deal that
Destiny it,
did.
basically.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know if they Destinied it. I'm sure they have to mention the Division, I would think, in some capacity.
Right.
It's kind of their big multiplayer shooter. I guess speaking of multiplayer shooters, do you think Rainbow Six Siege pops up at all? Do you think they?
They'll probably touch on like new operators and stuff, and I think they have a big new tournament that they may be pushing pretty soon, because they've been doing a lot of tournaments over the last year.
Okay.
But I mean, they can't really do too much more with that. They have a DLC plan like for the next 3 years.
Yeah.
It's just not. There's nothing new. It's just kind of like more of what we're already getting.
What about For
No,
Honor?
it's not a new IP, but a new Splinter Cell would be cool.
I'd be into that. Yeah. I Splinter Cells are great, especially if they go the co-op
Real
route.
quick tangent. Are the old Splinter Cells like awesome? I've never played a Splinter
they're
Cell.
pretty
Is this,
fun.
like,
Yeah.
The first one is really, really good. I really, really enjoyed that one.
They're if you like stealth games, they are stealth games that are not bad. That's how I would pitch it.
Yeah, they do it.
Yeah.
They have a stealth system that is functional. It works. You don't feel like it's bullshit.
Yeah, yeah. They also have some fun co-op stuff in some of the later ones for like the 360 PS3 era. I think that's when it was. And most of those are also on PC now as well. 3 or 4 of the games are on PC, and they look pretty good. So yeah, I wouldn't mind another Splinter Cell. That'd be kind of fun, especially if it has a huge emphasis on co-op stuff. That would be cool.
Chad really likes Splinter Cell. That's wow.
Yeah,
I didn't know wow.
There's a lot of good games there. What the fuck do they do for Honor?
Nothing.
They have
Real
to
talk,
mention
nothing.
For Honor. They have to, like, they cannot. If they go through this entire, I'm about to say something really stupid. If they go through this entire conference, I will like eat, I don't know, something that I'm not supposed to eat because I would be so surprised for them to go through that entire conference and not mention the biggest release of the year for them.
I mean, currently though, I don't know what they do with it. Like, what do they say?
Many of
The
you
only
have
thing they can
left
do
our
at this
game.
point.
Yeah.
More factions, more people, more maps, more game modes. But the problem is at that point, you're trying to plug up one hole with 15 flooding around you. I mean,
Yeah.
I think at this point, there's, when a project is as big as For Honor and there's that many hands in the pot, there becomes a situation where you have to do something for the investors. Like it becomes much less about the game and much more about, look, people gave us a lot of money for this, and we can't just let this die. Like, this has to be, and I think there's actually more than a few game franchises out right now where that's the case. But I think I'm with you, JP. I'd be surprised if we don't hear anything about it, but I don't think it's going to be anything big.
Same thing as Wildlands. That's a game that came out. Like,
It's already out?
Wildlands has been out for a long time. Yeah, months.
That's that glitchy mess that we played that was in beta, right?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah, we played the beta
Okay.
of it. And
That was hilarious.
It was a lot
but
of fun.
Not because it should have been.
exactly, it was a lot of fun, but it was because it was buggy as shit, not because it was like a well-made, put-together game. But it was fun because on my screen, I would be standing next to Zeke, but on Ammunition's screen, I'm not there. I'm 600 yards down the road somewhere, being run over by a fucking car repeatedly because the syncing was completely off. I don't know if those issues were there on retail, but it was a buggy fucking mess that was still fun.
No, I love the helicopter run. That was one of my favorite things. Someone was flying
Oh,
the
yeah.
helicopter or the airplane, and it showed that their icon was doing this. Was like on top of the chopper, like doing this, flying the airplane.
I might
It was
be able to
fucking
find
great.
that clip.
It was so good. There's a few of those.
Yeah,
like
those are in some of the best. clips
It
of
wasn't beta, right? When we played it.
Yeah, that was a beta when we played.
That's what
Okay.
I remembered. I remembered you guys playing in beta, and we talked about it on Drop Frames, and basically you guys said what you just said, JP.
Yeah.
But then, like, I would have. Did we have a Drop Frames where we talked about the release?
No, because none of us played it on launch. It came out like 2 weeks after that beta, and none of us played it on launch.
I must have been playing something else at the time or something. Like, I was expecting it to come out and like people to talk about it, and people had asked me to play it, and like that generally happens with a lot of big games coming out. But I don't remember like
Wildlands
like
came
the
out
beta
on,
a little bit, but
Wildlands came out on March 7th, so Andromeda was coming out later that month. You were probably playing the fucking dinosaur game that we were just talking about on PlayStation that I can't.
oh, Horizon.
Horizon Zero
yeah,
Dawn.
you're probably playing
okay,
Horizon
That's
Zero
what I was
Dawn.
doing. Okay.
That or
okay.
Zelda, one of those. Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah. It was a big time around then, wasn't it?
Yep.
My God.
That's probably what it was. Like, that was Zelda and Horizon, so it just got
It was terrible launch
totally
with it.
eclipsed.
Yeah,
Okay.
without a doubt.
Oh man! Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Speaking of totally eclipsing, all the games we talked about are great and all, but there's only one game Ubi's about to blow everyone's mind with, and it's going to be the Mario Rabbids game. I'm letting you know right now. I know you didn't think I was going to go there.
You thought you were going South Park.
South Park, I can't wait. Look, South Park, if it ever releases, our grandchildren will probably love the game when it finally comes out. But I'm letting you know.
Don't you say that. Don't you say that.
I'm letting you know right now, the game that is to beat for Ubisoft is 100% the Mario Rabbids game.
Really?
That is going to sell consoles and stuff. I'm telling you, an RPG, a tactical RPG, like what a weird. It's about to blow everyone away. I'm letting you know right now, it's going to be the sleeper hit. It's going to be the one.
What are you talking about?
He's talking about this game right here.
It's Mario versus the Rabbids, and it is straight up in a tactical RPG, and like it's, it's gonna be huge. It's gonna be huge.
It's Mario XCOM.
Wait a minute, a tactical RPG?
Yes. Like exactly.
I kind of want it now.
Right? It's gonna be the
I
one
saw Mario X Rabbids and I went nah, and then you said tactical RPG and I went whoa.
This does look kind of funny. I mean, the Rabbids games are not my thing, but I do like a lot of the promotional content they do. And seeing a fucking Rabbid in a Luigi costume and a Rabbid as Princess Peach here is pretty fucking hilarious. And if you wrap that into like an XCOM tactical RPG.
This might steal the show. I'm letting you know. This might be the thing.
I'm confused on how to feel about this.
That's a lot of things.
Like I have literally conflicting parts. Like I like the concept of an MCOM, but it's Mario. Could I take it seriously? But it's tactical.
But it's Rabbids even more, and they're fucking crazy.
Rabbids. But it's like XCOM.
This is gonna.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Did you hear MCOM somewhere else, or did you coin that phrase?
I just coined that phrase.
That's fucking good, man. That's really good.
Copyright CohhCarnage Industries. 2017.
2017. It's also, Jesse's forgetting, a Nintendo Switch exclusive.
Yup.
It is exclusive. I was wondering.
No, that's why I said it's gonna sell consoles. This will be like why people start picking up a Switch. This game right here is gonna blow people away. I'm telling you, this might be the one to talk about.
I'm into the idea of a like XCOM style game on that fucking little tablet that I could just take places.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say, dude. Being able to like pull that on a plane and take it with you traveling and stuff, like that's dangerous. that's actually kind of cool.
I'm into that.
Is there any gameplay or anything like that anywhere about this?
I don't think so.
None. Yeah.
It's only this little image that we've seen.
This is. I'm like I don't. Is Jesse paid to sell Switch? No, chat. I don't even own one. I have no desire to own one till maybe Fire Emblem Warriors. But this game right there might sell me on it.
Oh, you didn't get sucked in on the Zelda wave?
No. There's about 1 million other people in my life who have a Switch. I don't need one. There's nothing about that console that I desire to have.
I don't have one either. Yeah.
Yeah, I could care less. But the day will come when I want that Fire Emblem shit, and I will jump on that. But for the time being, I just don't care. So no, I'm not selling it. Although I'll take one for free, Nintendo. They won't. They won't.
They won't do it. They won't do that. Nintendo don't watch this shit.
I just see one of the like guys in Nintendo like, get on the phone. Jesse Cox needs a fucking Nintendo Switch right now. Get me the president of Nintendo.
They're
Zeke,
like, who?
Yeah. Zeke, do you want to talk about South Park for a second, and then we'll move on? 'Cause I think you're probably the most hyped for it.
No. I feel like South Park, the fractured butthole, is like they described what was it in Gladiator when he's like, Rome was but a whisper, or you could whisper and it would blow away. Like that's what I don't want to talk about South Park because if I whisper too loud, it'll fucking blow away.
Okay, all right, makes sense.
Dude, it's gonna be so good.
Man. Ubisoft has also said that Beyond Good and Evil 2 will not be there, so the one person that cares, DJ Wheat, is upset to hear that. Make sure you give him a ton of shit for that, Zeke, by the way. Just nonstop. Every time you see him, just be like, hey, Beyond Good and Evil's not going to be here this year. Just FYI.
Yeah, I know.
Just nonstop. He's really...
Hey, DJ, did you hear that Beyond Good and Evil 2 is going to be D3? No, you didn't? Yeah, I didn't either.
Yeah. Actually, how many... Let's... I can't. Where's my mouse? All right. There's 13,000 of you. If at least half of you tweet, that's 6,000 tweets. Everyone tweet at DJ Wheat, WHEAT, and say Beyond Good and Evil 2 is not at E3. If you need to follow someone's example,
You can
Wait, you better add a hashtag right now, JP.
Hey, DJ
hashtag DFE3.
Did you know that Beyond Good and Evil 2 will capitalize not be at E3 question mark? I just heard.
Hold on. Use hashtag DFE3, Zeke. Don't forget that.
I gotta find
It's
a
important.
GIF that I can use with that as well.
Hashtag
I'll
what?
I'll reply.
DFE3. Drop frames E3.
Hashtag DFE3.
Okay. Is it out?
Okay, here we go. Yep.
All right. I'm going to go copy that and send it.
Hey, DJ Weed, did you know that Beyond Good and Evil 2 will not be at E3? I just heard.
Okay. Sent.
And somewhere in California, a phone is ringing nonstop.
It's probably his fucking Apple Watch, man. He lives in San Francisco. There you go. You must use your powers only for good. You're right. I feel a little bit bad now, but not too bad.
Oh my God, my tweet deck is just going tunk, 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 just retweet.
Yeah. You guys got to tweet. Don't just retweet. Tweet it out yourself. Literally, just copy the message word for word and hit send.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, copy the message.
That's what I did. I
left a
copied
very,
word for word.
I left a very solid reply. I feel like I've contributed.
Right on.
Just word for word. Yeah, Zeke's or Wheat's gonna come into the stream and shut us down. Let's move on then very quickly.
Let's have that power.
Yeah. So that's Ubisoft. That is Monday. And then Sony is going on Monday evening. And once again, I'm pretty excited for Sony. Sony's done a pretty good fucking job the past couple of years of keeping the hype going. Games that we know are going to be there. God of War. Fucking let's go. I'm in. They've got a giant painting going up somewhere in LA on some fucking dumb hotel. Looks great. Can't wait to see more of that. Looked fucking incredible last year. I don't think anyone else. Is there anything else you guys want to say about God of War other than we just want to see more? We want a release date.
More.
Yeah. Do you think we'll get a release date? Do you think that comes out this holiday? Has that been said?
I'm really hoping it makes it out this year because it was big last year. Like they really kind of pumped it last year. So if they do like another hype year, I'd love to see it out this year.
Okay.
November 2017. Calling it now.
That sounds like a good date for me. Another game that I don't know if it said it's going to be there, but I think you kind of have to talk about it when you talk about video games, especially from Sony's neck of the woods. Last of Us 2. I want to see gameplay.
Yep.
I honestly think if you show God of War, Last of Us 2, and in the conference, people come out of that fucking conference buzzing if what you see is good. I think that's enough to have that fucking conference buzzing.
Do you think we're going to see anything from Kojima?
He came out today and said that it would not be there, that Death Stranding would not be there. But it is Kojima. So maybe it'll be there, but it'll be some fucking dumb, maybe it'll be like Life Stranding or something. I don't know. Like it's Kojima after all. He'll make some dumb fucking game up.
Oh, wouldn't it be amazing?
say
It's like
it's not
that
that
wasn't
game.
the name of the game after all. It was just the prototype name, and the real name is this. And it's like, oh, he got us again.
I could totally see him doing that. I could totally
Yeah.
fucking see him doing that. And that sounds like something that Sony would do. So I'm excited for that, to see if that actually does show up under maybe a different name. That's
What is
Spider.
Dreams?
Dreams is that weird VR game. Was it VR? I think it was VR.
It was really, really chill. It was that kind of weird, spacey. Hold on, let me look it up and make sure I know what I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
I gotta look this game up.
It was a really weird game. It's from the people it's from Media Molecule, isn't it? Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
it is
Little
VR.
Big Planet and Tearaway. Yeah.
This is that fucking weird game. It was like user created or some fucking crazy. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Stuff. Yeah.
It looked really, really cool. No, this is the game that
I'm
I
not
was
showing
like,
this footage,
I
though.
hope like real talented artists get their hands on this game and make some awesome shit.
Yeah.
That is not the game I thought it was. For the record.
It's not. What game did you think it was?
I remember seeing some weird spacey game at E3 last year, and I'm trying to remember the name of it. But people seemed relatively hyped for it at first, but
Well,
it kind
yeah,
of
but it's
disappeared.
like I forgot the tagline. I didn't even read the tagline. It said it's still not clear when or if this is releasing. So I'm sorry for even taking us off on that tangent.
No, that's they do that shit. They fucking throw these weird ass games. That game was fucking bizarre when we saw it. It reminded me literally of a dream world, a dreamscape, and it was kind of terrifying in some of the scenarios that they had created. So I don't know if that'll be there. Officially announced games, though, going back to that list. Uncharted: The Lost Legacy, which is the spin-off game. You're really can't wait for that, Jesse? I'm kind of lukewarm on it.
I loved the last Uncharted, and I can't wait for this next one because I get to see the characters that I love again. Look, I'm an Uncharted nerd. That's just the problem I have.
I mean, I love me some Uncharted. I'm just not. If Nathan Drake's not involved, I don't know if I love that Uncharted. That's what they got to sell me on.
I'm ready.
Yeah, but people said the same thing about like Star Trek. It's like no fucking Captain Kirk. It's not Star Trek, but it could be really good.
It might be really good. Yeah. There's that Spider-Man game from Activision that was teased last year that could fucking be cool. But it could also be a fucking weird licensed movie game.
Yeah.
To tie in with Spider-Man Homecoming later this summer. So I don't know how to feel about that. It looked cool when they showed that last year, but I hope they show actual gameplay and not this weird zoom in of Spider-Man's mask to reveal kind of the rest of the city. So we'll have to see with that. Here's one that's going to go really big with this crowd. Gran Turismo Sport, a racing game. I know you guys are all about the racing games. Can't wait.
Look, Gran Turismo is great. They need to stop advertising it and selling it by having a guy come out and talk like he wants to fuck his car during the press conference. Every year.
But that's what all those people want to do, Jesse. Anyone that likes a car game wants to fuck their car.
Every year a guy comes out and talks about sleek and flashy. It's like, calm down, dude. Calm. And then they drop a car down from the ceiling and he just sticks his dick in the gas. You're like, stop. Stop. We're done.
Dude, listen, but I mean, I've heard people talk about like gory FPS games, and it sounds like they want to have sex within guts. Like they just want to be like rolling around in blood and guts. I mean, it sounds like the same thing.
Well, those people are weird too, but you know.
Good point. Good point.
They don't do it on stage in front of people. They're not like,
yeah,
I'm gonna murder everyone and then fuck these corpses. Like no one does that. Meanwhile, this guy's like, now bring down the car so I can kiss it. Like stop it. Every year's the same.
Did we somehow get back into VR fetishes?
I think we're back in VR. I think somehow we've jumped. Me and Co have discovered time travel, and have jumped back into VR fetishes 2 hours ago.
Okay, let's be honest, chat. Let's be. I want a response from the chat. Have you ever looked at a car and went, I wouldn't mind fucking that car?
No.
Have you ever done that, chat?
If anyone in chat says that, you're a liar and or you probably should seek help.
Some of those Bugattis are kind of.
But...
Nah, I'm out.
I just want to be inside that
car. A lot of no's, but enough yeses to not make it crazy.
That's true. That is a good point.
This is the internet. It doesn't work like that.
I love how you just did that, Zeke, making the point that the people giving these speeches at these conferences want to physically have sex with vehicles.
They love Transformers. Is huge for those guys.
Like Dave Chappelle said, everybody fucks weird to somebody.
Yep, that's a good point. That's a very good point.
But not in front of people at a conference. It just doesn't. Not the place. It's not the place.
Come on, Jesse, to each your own, man.
Be considerate is what I'm saying. Just think of other people.
What else is there? Days Gone. Man, I can't get excited for that game. That's that weird game that everyone thought was Last of Us 2, but it's just not Last of Us 2, the game.
Yeah.
It's really how I
feel like Days Gone is to Last of Us, that Far Cry 4 is a Far Cry 3.
Yeah,
They're trying. Cool. It looks like they're trying to recreate a Last of Us experience, and it looked like from what we saw last year, like they're really trying. Like it, just like you said, we thought it was Last of Us 2 for like the whole thing, and then they're like Days Gone, and we were like, wait a second.
Oh, that's the one with the Walking Dead guy, right?
Yeah.
Walking Dead guy.
Yeah, with the. Oh
no,
wait,
that's Death
like
Stranding. That's Death Stranding.
No.
Yeah. Okay.
This
is the biker one.
It's this one
the
right
reason
here.
Why you're so close is because it is kind of like the Walking Dead guy.
It's like it's the Walking Dead Last of Us guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. This looks fucking great though.
You really okay? So you are excited for this? I'm lukewarm.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited for this. I mean, look at it. It looks fucking gorgeous.
Okay, you're right.
Chopping zombies with an axe, and there's animations for all this shit. This is probably not real gameplay though.
The only part
Oh,
about
maybe it
that
is.
No,
No,
this
that
is
looks
supposed
like
to be real
gameplay.
gameplay. Yeah. This is the
the
UI
only part
and
about
HUD
this
and
trailer
everything.
that was really inspiring was the end when the horde appeared.
Yes.
And he had to like run up the side of the building and like they were
Yes.
coming at him. Like that was really
This
cool. But
right
the rest
here,
of it was
like that looks awesome. Look at those motherfuckers.
yeah, like that's crazy looking.
I agree, that does look cool. But if the game is literally the horde chasing you and it's that tech, just the game basically, that's why I have such a hard time. Like I can't get excited for this when I would rather just be playing Last of Us.
Well, listen. I mean, if you looked at like screenshots of The Last of Us, you'd be like, oh yeah, okay. But what really the selling point for a game like this is not necessarily you versus enemies. It's you in story. Like if this has a fucking awesome story, it'll be it could be as good as Last of Us if it has an awesome story because it looks fucking beautiful right now. If it has an in-depth emotional story like Last of Us did, I think it's gonna be great.
Okay. Yeah.
It'll be hard to top that though. It'll be real hard to top that.
Really hard.
That was like movie level quality in Last of Us.
Oh yeah. I'm just looking at this and I remember when they showed this last year how odd it was to be watching like a 10-minute plus long gameplay demo of this game. And even watching it now a year later as we're about to head into another E3, it's still really weird to be watching a 10-minute gameplay demo of this game and know nothing. Like the last time I think any of this was mentioned was last year. It's been silent like that. I don't know if there's like hype behind this. Chat, you tell me. Are you guys super stoked for this, or is it lukewarm? Want to see more? Because I feel like that's where everyone's at.
By the way, Chad has been reminding us that we also have the Final Fantasy VII remake at E3 most likely.
Yeah, and Kingdom Hearts 3.
Maybe one day.
Maybe that game might exist.
Oh, there's the new. Didn't they just release the new Dissidia or whatever the hell that franchise is called?
Yeah, it looks
fighting one.
It's actually a PS4 game, so that'll probably be there. It's like Dissidia Inn or something like that.
NT, I think it is. Yeah, something like that.
Square and their weird names for non-Final Fantasy games. Like they got to choose. They got to find a middle place between calling it just Final Fantasy, the new number, and weird ass fucking game name for a game. There's got to be a middle ground in between that shit to where they can make normal game names.
And then the Golden God himself, David Cage, will make an appearance and present us with something. Hopefully,
you think we're gonna see his new game?
You know what? I hope.
Oh, that's right. We did see that
won't.
last year. What? It's called Detroit, right?
Yeah, it's another one of his weird games that's almost all story based and decision based, and that's like it. And I'm down. I love that stuff. I think it's super entertaining, if not very weird. But
that's the one where it had like the announcement trailer was like the guy goes to the rooftop or something like that and shoots the girl and then jumps off the rooftop and saves her and then they like replay it.
Yeah, basically it's you're a detective. At least in the trailer, you were a detective who's also a robot, and then there was another robot who was holding a girl hostage. And what happens is you get shot, and then you shoot him, and then the girl and him fall off the roof, and then it pauses, and it's like, but what if you did it this way? And there was, by the end of it, there was like 20 or some scenarios that you could have gone through in order to change everything about this, and it's all about the choices you make.
Okay.
And so there was that, and that was sort of like the faux gameplay trailer, but they've also done one with the girl.
That's what this is, yeah, that we're seeing here.
Who is another part of this story. So there's a bunch. The whole premise is about androids and reality and what is living. Like, that's cool. That's always a cool concept. It's always fun to delve into that stuff. And it's David Cage, so by the end of it, every David Cage game, no matter what, ends with like, and now we're going to the demon world. Why? I don't know. But it's the truth. In the end, every single game ends up weird.
Yeah.
And so I can't wait to see how he weirdifies this one.
Yeah. I hope we see more of that. Another game that
DJ Wheat responded to you guys on Twitter.
Really? Yeah, I saw it.
What'd he say?
He said, "It's okay, fam. I'll wait for Beyond Good and Evil for as long, or Beyond Good and Evil 2 for as long as I have to." And then he has a GIF of Bruce Campbell saying, "Hang in there. It's gonna be worth it."
Okay. All right. That's DJ Wheat's official stance. I was going to try to like make a joke prompting this, but I think just saying the game is the joke. Knack 2 is apparently a thing, you guys. That's apparently a video game. They decided to make a second one of that. They said, Cerny, you crazy son of a bitch, go make a new Knack. And he said, okay. And that might be there this weekend or Monday, I guess. And I don't know why. I don't know why that exists. And by the look of all your faces, I don't even think you know what Knack is.
Knack was that weird game where they're all the ball man. The man was made up of little tiny balls, and they really hyped up the particle physics of that game, and then no one played it.
I played it.
It was like
it was the most...
Did you enjoy it?
It was the most neutral game I've ever played. I can't hate Knack, but I can't like it because there's like nothing redeeming about it. It looked cool, but there's nothing redeeming about it. I don't know.
The not cool Vector Man.
Did it? Did it sell a shit ton of copies or something at the launch of PS4 to warrant a second release?
If anything, it sold because it was one of the few games that launched with a PS4.
Yeah.
I don't know anyone else. I don't know anyone who played that game except for you. You're the first person I met who actually owned and played that game.
Oddly enough, when me and DJ Wheat were the two people, I was at his place when we did a 24-hour PS4 launch stream. It was me, DJ Wheat, and Mini Wheat. Wheat's kid was also there for a portion of it. And we just let him play Knack because we were both so disinterested in it. We just let him play it. And he thought it was okay. So maybe it's like the kid game or something. I don't know. I don't know that game. I can't believe there's a second fucking Knack coming out. Horizon DLC. Do you think we see that? I think that's probably a big enough thing to show on a conference. I don't think that's an after conference thing. Yeah.
With the post-credit scene like they had in that game, they better damn well give us some DLC.
I'll
tell you.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What PSVR stuff do you think we see? Do you think they make this like a segment for PSVR in their conference? I mean, they just passed 1 million sold, so I think they're probably pretty invested in it, right? I don't
think so.
I don't know.
It would be cool to see some kind of off-the-wall but serious games come out for PS4 VR. Like, imagine a game like Mech Warrior, if you were inside the cockpit of the mech in a VR environment. Slow movement, so you wouldn't have any motion sickness, but could be a seriously cool game if you were like manually doing the controls inside of it or something. I was going to say Armored Core, but that would be too quick. But, you know, like they could really go some fun directions with it, especially now that they have working motion controllers. I just hope they do. Like, it'll be really unfortunate if we don't see another Resident Evil 7 for a long time.
If anything, Bridge Crew shows that is possible. Like the Bridge Crew controls, you could jump into a mech and have just as much fun. I think that'd be a really solid idea.
Yeah. Well, I also think that a mech game like that would lend itself to a little bit slower paced combat. Like Star Trek was worked because in order to move the ship, it took a minute, but we're moving that fast. Like the enemies weren't coming at you that fast. So if you're going against another bot, it's going to be like boop and like raise arm. So it's going to be a little slow. I think that's awesome. I've wanted a fucking mech VR game since I saw Robot Jocks for the first time.
Man, what if...
Yes! Oh, man.
That is a good game. Yeah. Zeke, what if it was like, you mentioned how like a slow-moving arm. What if it was like a Power Rangers type scenario?
Okay.
Voltron?
Yeah. Yeah. Like a Voltron scenario where you got 5 other people inside of a giant
Oh
Voltron,
my God, would that be amazing?
And you're like one person's controlling the leg, their left leg, the other one controls the right leg, because that's what their things are, right?
Okay, just saying. You're all in VR in your own little vehicles, and then you form the big robot. And in VR, you travel through the robot up to the main center where everyone, like, you slide into your seat and it like clicks into place, and you see your other buddies and their whole little seat. Oh my God, dude. Oh,
that's what I'm talking about. More co-op,
would be amazing.
More co-op VR experiences like that. That'd be fucking sick.
Here's the thing, though, because PSVR has the microphone on the head and the earpieces, you need to shout something like Thunder Megazord or whatever when you combine together. Time? You have to. It's required.
Hold on a second. Now, when they become the Megazord or whatever it's called, I didn't watch a lot of it. I'm a little older than Power Rangers. Mm-hmm. But when they come together as the Megazord, do they all slide towards the chest, or do they stay in their...
No, they all slide towards the chest. They're all in the chest,
central headquarters. Yeah.
Oh, they do? Okay. Because I was thinking that they stayed as, like, I'm the fucking right arm. I'm like, guys, stop swinging me. I'm gonna be fucking sick. Oh God.
No.
But dude, Jesse, you know how they do like the rock band singing thing? Like, good, very good, very good. It's like everyone has to do it at the same time. It like does a countdown and everyone says it, and then it's like, you did excellent, extra power up, you know?
Yes.
That'd be
God.
sick.
And then you like come together, and then they. Oh my God, would that be an amazing moment?
I'm hyped just thinking about that. I get hyped when Zeke.
This game now.
I get hyped when Zeke says engage, and I fucking just hit go on the goddamn Star Trek thing. I can't even imagine saying like whatever the Power Rangers said or whatever the Voltron people said, and then having that shit happen.
You have to like with your controller. You have to do like a thunder, Megazord, power, active. Like you have to do the whole thing. You have to like do everything.
It'd be like dance.
We need to
Like,
show
yeah,
this
yeah.
to someone with money and
Like, you
get
have
this
to go
game
like-
made.
Oh my God.
And your character in game is on the screen doing your little dance
Yes.
at the same time.
Oh my God.
This has to be
There's
made.
the-
We got to find someone. We need a
it's not made?
backer. We need investors right
I kid
now.
you not. This is a multi-million-dollar idea. If anyone in a position to make this is listening, please make
Just
this
make it.
game.
We'll buy it. The four of us are in. We'll kickstart it.
Oh my God.
Or
I will
something.
promote the hell out of this game. I would be like day one, like this is the greatest game ever made.
It's just the four of us. The trailer for the game is the four of us. We're like backlit. You can't see our faces. And it zooms in on Corel. He's like, the greatest game ever made. And then Zeke's on the side doing the fucking hand motions and shit.
The entire promo, Zeke's just in the background doing the.
Yeah.
As his power bar increases.
Yeah. It's great. It's great. Make it happen.
Oh my God.
Like oh God, that'd be so good. I hope we see some PSVR shit in line with what we just said. Is anyone like a huge? I guess I'm probably the biggest Kingdom Hearts fan here. I don't know if you guys are.
I'm
ready for it. I vividly remember 2013, I believe it was, one of my first big like moments of watching E3.
Yeah.
All my friends, we were all sitting around. We were doing like a live show at the time, and they showed that first Kingdom Hearts thing. And I looked over to my fellow office colleague, the completionist, and we like fist bumped. We were like, "It's finally happening!" That was 2013.
Yeah, it was 4 years ago.
2013, guys.
It was 4
That's
years ago.
Heartbreaking.
But Jesse, here's the thing that keeps me coming back for Kingdom Hearts. It's a Kingdom Hearts game. If you know what that is, you know what to expect. But now that they have all these fucking insane Disney IPs and we have Star Wars, it could potentially be the coolest game of all time because Darth Vader could fucking fight Iron Man with your goddamn character in the same game as well.
Let me just pitch you a scenario. If you remember in Kingdom Hearts 2, one of the secret battles was you and Cloud versus Sephiroth. And everyone was like, that's such a cool battle. Let me take that up a notch. You, Cloud,
I know.
Luke Skywalker, Iron Man,
Darth
versus
Vader, Yoda.
Darth Vader, Sephiroth, like crazy. Like, imagine that fight. Imagine the people flaying around and throwing shit. Like that would be the single greatest moment in the history of video gaming.
The
There'd
amount
be
of
nothing better.
The amount of fandom combined in that entire scene, people like me and Jesse would just fucking be losing our goddamn minds. And Zeke and Co would look.
Don't forget fucking Donald Duck up in there fucking everything up.
Yeah, no, Donald Duck be in there just fucking everything up. He'd be killing. He'd have a lightsaber too, because fuck it. I don't give a shit.
Also, remember for some goddamn reason there was Jack Sparrow in the last one.
Yeah,
and like
it's Disney
Nightmare
property,
Before
man.
Christmas, like what is? It's everything's in this game. Imagine how insane it would be. Imagine how insane this game could possibly be.
If they put Star Wars in Kingdom Hearts, that might be one of the moments where I get super fucking hyped. If they show that, if they show like fucking dumb shit Sora, whatever the fuck that guy's name is now, because he has so many different lives. If they show him, he's got like a keyblade, and then fucking Darth Vader's there, I will flip my goddamn shit. I will lose my goddamn mind.
Mickey Mouse.
You're just naming properties.
Mickey Mouse, Cloud from Final Fantasy VII, and like Yoda versus Thanos. Like, just imagine.
Oh yeah,
how
Thanos could be there.
easy
Yeah.
this game could be.
Okay. The more you guys talk about this, the more I wonder, was this entire franchise come up with two stone college students?
Absolutely.
Probably, yeah,
But just
probably,
Japanese
yeah.
dudes.
Yeah.
Two stone
Okay.
Japanese dudes.
Because like,
do you know what Kingdom Hearts is about?
It literally sounds like two really stoned people. Like, dude, what if Darth Vader and Sephiroth were fighting like Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck, and who would win? And then they like talk for 2 hours.
That's what Kingdom Hearts is about.
Ko, have you never played the original Kingdom Hearts?
I don't think he has.
I've never played any of them. The second I saw the first Kingdom Hearts, I didn't realize it was an actual game. I thought it was a joke. And then when I realized it was a game, I was like, is this just fan service? Like, what is this? Is it a real game or is this a joke? Like, I didn't understand it.
Is it fan
it's
service.
Fan service through and through, without doubt.
Oh yes, it's a game where like Goofy and Donald are your sidekicks, and your little tiny like punk kid who like has magical key powers, and Mickey is this mysterious figure, and the only way to save the galaxy is the universe is by like going to different Disney movies. It is and the main hub town is Final Fantasy for some damn reason. It is so dumb but entertaining. It's the most entertaining thing I can even imagine. It's so silly.
It's a really weird game, Ko. You can fight Sephiroth. Cloud's in there. You go to Aladdin's world, Hercules' world, and the fucking pig guy from the movie Hercules, the animated movie, is there. And there's like an arena, and then you can go to the Little Mermaid place.
Everything you just said was serious.
You become a mermaid.
Right?
This is 100% real shit.
Become a mermaid.
And this is only the first game, Cole. You got a second game that you can do.
You go to the Lion King world, become a lion, and then you bounce around like a lion, but you also have a magic sword, so it's pretty great. Everything about this game is insane. It is a fever dream of a video game, but it doesn't matter because the time you're done, you're like, I don't know what the hell the plot was, but that was really entertaining.
No one understands the plot because Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 are like the base games, right? Around that is about 30 fucking games with we talked about Square Enix having an issue with names. There's an actual game named like 358/2 days Kingdom Hearts. I'm not making that up. Dream Drop Distance. That's an actual that's fucking name of a game.
And the worst part is they are trying their hardest to make Kingdom Hearts make sense as a story. It does not. it will never. And when people try to explain it to you, you're like, that's still, even though you explained it to me, that's still not a story. That's just gibberish put together. Like, you can't say that's a story.
But at the end of the day,
I'm having trouble trying to decide, is this something like a cool fan service thing, or is this like the beginning of idiocracy in game development?
No, it's
the coolest fan service.
Solid game. It is incredible. Like everything about this game is like well put together, or else it wouldn't be like Disney would be like, we don't want to do this anymore, Square, if your game like is shit, because they like give them everything. Everything is in this game, not just like a little IP to like put everything. Like I was saying,
Mulan's in the game. Jack Sparrow.
Jack Sparrow. Why is he in there? It's so jarring when you go to the Pirates of the Caribbean world. You're like, why is this here? It's super entertaining. It's like a really well-made game. It's just nonsensical as shit. I love the franchise is great. It just doesn't make sense.
I will always remember this point in time where we introduced Ko to Kingdom Hearts because it's one of the hardest things to introduce someone to, and it's great. Yeah. I like it.
How do you even explain it? Yeah, the Tron world. There was a Tron world.
There's Tron world, yeah.
Donald and Goofy were dressed up like Tron characters, and they went around on bikes. It was a thing.
It's a fucking crazy game. I want to bring Zeke back into the conversation, though, and make him lose his shit. Because does Bloodborne 2 show up?
No. I'm going to say no.
You're saying no?
I'm saying absolutely not.
Absolutely not. Do we see anything from Software?
Nope.
God, I hope so.
I hope so. Of course I hope so, but no.
I feel like Sony is a company the past couple of years that have really made their press conferences that of answering fucking nerds like us dreams. And the biggest dream right now is Bloodborne 2. That game, Bloodborne 2, is fucking unbelievable. Ko's upset because I said something.
The world needs a new Armored Core.
Damn.
All right.
I'm serious about this. It's been too long. I'm sick of waiting. We need more Armored Core. Put down.
On your thing
Somebody
here, it
let
does
them know.
say that
Fuck Armored Core. I want more salted caramel core. Have you tried that shit? It's delicious.
I haven't. I'll have to try.
Dude, seriously, I loved Armored Core. I don't know what happened to it. I guess I heard the last two didn't really sell well, and then they kind of shelved it a little bit. But still, like, I think it's time. Especially with there's so many good reasons to bring it back. There hasn't been like a damn good mech game for a long time. Mechs. I just wanted to say mechs.
Okay, Ko, here's a question I'll pose to you. In one hand, you have Armored Core, okay? In the other, you have Bloodborne 2. You can only have one. What do you choose?
I punch you in the face and take both.
Damn.
I mean, that would
no, that'd be tough. I mean, I am. There's two camps with Bloodborne. There's the camp that says Bloodborne 1 was a masterpiece. It doesn't need a sequel, and let's get a new IP. And I understand where those people are coming from. I am on the other camp though. I loved Bloodborne. I loved the world. I loved the lore it developed, and I would happily dive back into that universe to see where else they want to take it. That being said, I'd love to see a Bloodborne 2, but also I have to say though that if they did actually make a new Armored Core, they'd have to do something different, and I'm curious to know like what angle they would go with that, and also how serious they would take it. Is it going to be like a one-off mobile game, kind of like, hey, a tech demo and a mech, or is it going to be like a serious let's reboot Armored Core? I want to see the latter. I want to see them sit down and take it seriously and say, look, we haven't had an Armored Core for a long time. Let's reinvent this franchise. Let's give it like a soul, like a Metal Gear Solid. Let's put in some realistic characters people can relate to. Let's do something with this franchise because there's so much potential there.
Totally.
But anyway, yeah.
And for anybody who's talking about Bloodborne 2 or Last of Us 2, like, we don't need another one. No, we don't need another one. But
we'd like one.
We didn't need a Dark Souls 2. And
you're going to fucking play it.
Yeah.
You're going to fucking play it just like I will, and you're going to love it like I will.
Exactly.
And it's not, and I refuse to let it, like I said this, I've made this argument many times before. I refuse to let Godfather 3 shit on my experience with Godfather 1 and 2.
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
I don't let it affect my experience. Like, Bloodborne 2 will not affect how much I love the first one.
I agree. Ni no Kuni 2 will probably show up at like the 10 people. Oh,
definitely.
I'll be there. Me and Jesse will be there fucking excited. And everyone else will be like, this game looks weird. First game was awesome.
It was Pokemon the RPG. It was fantastic.
It's great.
What a great experience.
Yeah,
it was Studio Giblets. Yeah. So it was great.
You get that fucking T-Rex. He just destroys everyone. He's the strongest monster in the goddamn universe. It was great.
Oh, Ace Combat. You're right, chat. Ace Combat's my jam.
Isn't that VR? Isn't that VR?
Yeah,
VR?
doing a VR.
There is a VR
that
one.
That could be cool.
Which, wasn't there a Star Wars VR last year as well that people played?
I think it was a demo.
Yeah, but like,
wasn't that Millennium Falcon demo thing?
Didn't you play the VR Star Wars stuff, JP?
Yeah, but it was like it was like you stand outside the Millennium Falcon, and then some stormtroopers shoot you, and then a lightsaber's thrown to you, and then the fucking bolts go at like a mile an hour towards you, and you have to adjust your lightsaber in the right. It was really shitty, is what I'm getting at. It was fucking awful.
So what about this? How about this? Star Wars Death Star VR, like just like Bridge Crew, but you're the crew of the
blow
Death
up
Star.
planets.
There's like 30 of you in there just fucking doing this nonsense.
Just like pushing up levers.
Exactly. Force choking subordinates.
Well, there's only one person that can do that. Only Darth can do that, or the Emperor, I guess.
Yeah, one of you gets to be
play with
one
the
of you.
cannon.
It would just be like Friday 13th, where everyone wants to be Jason, you know?
But you played Vader last time.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, he doesn't even.
I want to throw you off your station.
Yeah.
My VR headset just says "look busy."
Oh god. Destiny 2 will probably show up. I bet you that shows up at the Sony thing. Call of Duty World War 2 will definitely be there at the Sony thing. Battlefront 2 will definitely be there at the Sony thing.
Hopefully we'll hear some PC stuff about Destiny 2. They have acknowledged publicly that they know it's an issue that they haven't released stuff about that. So
it's usually Activision's. So Activision doesn't have like their own thing there. So I don't know where it wouldn't pop up at the Sony. I don't know where that would pop up. That'd have to be like some
BlizzCon
new...
this year. BlizzCon,
and that would be weird if it popped
2017.
up.
Destiny 2.
Yeah, what if they start looping Destiny stuff into BlizzCon? That would be weird. It makes sense though.
If it just becomes Activision Con, watch out.
Yeah. Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite probably shows up at the Sony thing. Red Dead Redemption 2 will not be there. Take-Two has said that. It also got delayed, so that makes sense. Yeah, that's really sad. I was kind of excited to see that. And then there's always that weird world of what the fuck is Sony going to do this year that will surprise everyone. And I don't know.
Yep.
I feel like the Shenmue thing was kind of the biggest what the fuck. You just announced a Kickstarter for Shenmue 3. Maybe we'll see something for that at this event. I hope we have another orchestra playing music like we did last year.
Man, was that awesome last year.
It was really weird.
It'll be hard to top that. If they do something different, if they do anything different, everyone's going to be like, well, it wasn't the orchestra.
Yeah, there's no orchestra, right? Like, where do you go from that? I don't know where you go from an orchestra.
It was also a huge year, though. They had a lot of like crazy things to announce. I think they wanted to like really do it.
You kind of have to
year
with God of War. Like, you kind of have to go that route.
I think this year they might have enough stuff. They just want to show the footage and have it be about the game rather than like the event, I think. So we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah, I hope they do the thing where they just come out and be like, we could talk, but we're just going to show a bunch of games. And then they show like an hour of games just back to back.
Those are the best ones.
That'd be
man.
Those are the best conferences, yeah. And it's going to be so funny because Microsoft literally cannot do that because they're going to come out and say, hey, this is our new console. It's called this, and this is what it does. And they're going to show a bunch of developers being like,
here's our processing
the
power.
Scorpio is so fast. It's the fastest console ever. Like, we're going to see a lot of that shit. So it's going to have some stark contrast.
That's how Sony wins it again. If they're like, we could talk about our console, but here's some games.
Yeah.
Game over. That's it. Done.
Yep.
Or we could talk about our new console, but ours came out a while back. So let's talk about games.
You could. You definitely could.
Just like a very snarky Japanese dude would win just immediately.
Well, wasn't there? I was reading somewhere today that like Microsoft is teasing some Scorpio stuff, and in the Scorpio teases, they're like making slight disses at Sony the entire time or some shit like that. Like they're already starting this weird back and forth thing, which is they both understand that as a company that it gets people excited for that stuff, but it's also like.
Right.
Just do your own shit, man. Who fucking cares about
Is there really back and forth stuff?
All the time.
Yeah, like I don't think there's
because
any.
It's usually like in my experience, like the one who's trailing usually is the one tossing the most shade.
Maybe so. Yeah, they're trying to get. Yeah, that makes sense. A lot of people are also saying there's a price drop. There might be a price drop on the PS4 down to $249. I think is what people are saying.
Oh man.
Yeah. Which
if they release that and then Microsoft has a more expensive than expected price, that would be so bad.
I mean,
and then they came out and said like, our system is $249. Do the math.
Yeah. I mean, imagine a world where $249 for a PlayStation is announced and Co's guess of $499 for the consoles announced. It's literally double the price of a fucking PS4.
And then all I have to do is say, here's all of our games. And that's it.
Yeah. Exactly.
Dude, and imagine if they start doing stuff like, now with all new PlayStation consoles come with a free PS Now, subscription for a year, which means you get instantly hundreds of games, and like all that stuff. Like they could, if they did it right, they could completely crush Microsoft under its own issues of not having enough games. They could destroy them on that front and make it clear that that's what they're doing. Yeah.
Totally.
It's going to be wild.
There is, of course, Nintendo. They still exist. They don't do conferences anymore. We're not going to cover it because they usually do Nintendo Directs. So we'll talk about that next week. But really the only thing...
It's not just a Zelda system?
No, they actually... Yeah.
We have no confirmation of that. I wouldn't say either way.
They're going to show Super Mario Odyssey, I hope. I feel like if Nintendo comes to E3 and they just show ARMS, I'm going to be fucking furious. Because that game comes out next week. That game's a game that's shipping the week of E3. Or maybe it came out this week. I think it comes out next week. But I hope we see some new Mario stuff because new Mario games are always great. They're always fun.
Fire Emblem.
You really are about the Fire Emblem jam.
I love that franchise. And I love the Dynasty Wars franchise. And I love the two of them are combining together for whatever stupid reason. And I want it so badly.
Yeah. Might be good. I'm interested in Xenoblade 2, at least. I think Co might be as well, somewhat, as long as the music's not fucking awful. You're not at all? Not that first one did you so
Dude,
wrong?
I didn't even finish the last one. Like, there were just, no. I mean, it would have to make some pretty significant changes, but... I
mean, I think it's supposed to be completely different from the Xenoblade that you played. It's supposed to be more like the first one.
Then I will take a... Oh, like the Xenogears?
No, like the first Xenoblade now I'm confusing
Xenoblade
myself.
Chronicles? Is that what you're thinking of?
Is that the one that came out
Maybe.
most recently?
Here's the thing: if there's big robots in it, they gotta work to make me not like it. Now, Xenoblade worked. I mean, they had Tatsu, they had music, they combined forces to just push you away like you. They had some
You're
kind of
not
deterrent
wrong.
built into them.
You're not
But I mean,
wrong.
seriously, as long as there's not any of that stuff, like I'll give it a try. Don't get me wrong, but
Yeah.
I still have nightmares about Tatsu, man.
Yeah. I made too. Fucking Tatsu. Didn't he like save? I think he like saved the universe at the end of the game too, or some shit.
I ended up beating him, so I don't know.
Oh God. Oh yeah, there might be some Monster Hunter, more actual gameplay stuff shown on the Switch, which has a lot of people excited. And then I don't know. I don't know what else. Nintendo's kind of in this weird world where like not. I think Zeke and Co are people that don't care too much about the platforms, but like I'm still interested in some, especially a Mario game. But I don't know of anything new. Like if they announce a new Metroid, I think that'd be kind of a big surprise. But I don't know if they'll do that. I really don't.
Did you mention Splatoon 2?
Yeah. Okay, that's
Okay.
true. I did not mention it, but they'll definitely show
Okay.
that. I think
I
a lot
got
of
one
movies
for
will
you.
do
Have all of the recent Metro games been in 3D?
that. The last time a Metroid game was
God,
made
what was the recent?
on
Recent
the
is a general
Wii.
term.
In the last decade.
Other M was
I'm just saying, I would
most recent
love
A
to see
2D?
Metroid return to its roots in
2D,
a
yeah.
like actual side-scrolling Metroid game. Like I think that could rock the boat a little bit. If they made like a beautiful, really well-made side-scroller Metroid, like the first one, like make it an homage piece. I think that could bring a lot of people back into that franchise. Because I mean, the whole 3D thing. I mean, don't get me wrong. I know people that love the 3D Metroid. Some people think they're better than the side scrollers. But for me, dude, that kind of turned me off a little bit. Like I was
really.
I felt it kind of lost the soul a little bit.
When did
of
you
that.
play those
So-
games though? Did you play them?
I played them when they came out.
Okay.
Like I tried to play the first.
'Cause those
3D
games
one,
kind
I
of-
tried to play- It just felt gimmicky. Like it didn't really. The gameplay was like mostly auto aiming in a lot of ways, and it was a different game. It felt like it was a different game with the Metroid kind of clicked into it. So I
yeah.
would love to see like a newer Metroid game, classic style.
Yeah.
Even call it Metroid Classic, like and have it retell an old Samus story. But
You're
I don't
not
know.
I really, I find it very hard to believe that Metroid will ever have another game. I feel like Nintendo has just fucking forgot that IP exists, and they're just moving on
don't
to other things.
Nintendo never forgets.
What do you mean by?
Damn.
They might have forgotten Metroid.
Nintendo will bring shit back. They'll bring it back
Okay.
eventually.
All right.
I would put money on that. I would put money on like there's a dude like they have like locked in a cage is like might be your year for Metroid, and he's the guy they hired like 10 years ago. It's like, but we have you on retainer. We might let you out this year. Might let you out of the cage to write Metroid and make the game. No, not this year.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, that might happen.
But they keep feeding the guy, so you know he's gonna pop out someday, and the Metroid's gonna happen.
Yeah. Then the PC gaming conference we already kind of talked about. That's kind of a who fucking knows. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
It could be anything that shows up there. Total Warhammer
Those are
2's
wild.
That'll probably
Yeah.
show up there. Yeah. I think also, is Intel sponsoring it this year and not ATI? I think I heard that.
AMD man will be
Is
all
it
over
still
it, as
AMD?
always. I don't know, but every year it's just like, and now a word from AMD.
No, that's the funniest part. They're like, hey, is that the CEO of AMD? Oh, shit. She's got a briefcase. Well, what's in the briefcase? The CEO of AMD? Oh, it's a graphics card. That's incredible. Anyways, thanks for coming out. They do that whole thing every year.
Oh man.
So I don't know. We're a little bit over, but we only get to do this once a year. So I want to make some predictions. Or maybe some guesses. Or maybe just what do you want to see? They have to be outlandish because we already kind of talked about everything.
Outlandish?
Yeah, like what is something that in your dreams of dreams, what would you want?
BioShock Infinite 2 with Levine back on board.
Okay, that's pretty big.
Outlandish?
Yeah, no, you
Dream
said
a
I
big
said
dream.
outland. That's a big dream.
I'm not even sure how that's possible.
Yeah.
I know.
I've played
It's
all those
not,
games.
and that's
I don't
what
even
makes
know
it
if that's
beautiful.
Yeah, I mean that's a big
Oh
dream.
my god.
That's a big dream.
Oh man, if we're gonna
Dude,
go
I don't know if we're gonna be able to top Zeke's. Why'd you go first, man?
I want to see Gabe Newell come out on a conference for some reason and show something. Of game, not of like, hey, we're bringing Steam to fucking PlayStation. I don't give a fuck about that. I want to see a Valve game show up somewhere at a conference at a Sony or Microsoft.
All right, here's my outlandish prediction. Because the EA Star Wars game is with Visceral, known for Dead Space. It's a Star Wars horror game.
Ooh.
And you're a Jedi trapped on a planet and crazy shit's trying to kill you. That's my prediction.
They've never done horror with Star Wars.
Not once.
Do you think they would allow it?
Well, they have the whole zombie stormtrooper. Yeah, like it's a thing. Like it's actual.
I had no idea.
And so like people dress up as it. I think it's like a spin-off comic or I'm not sure, but like that's a thing. So just think about that. Horror Star Wars might be interesting.
You're not wrong.
Or you play as a bounty hunter and you're like stuck on a planet and your best friend Boba Fett or some shit. Dengar has to help you. That would also be fun.
Yeah, I'd be into a horror or Star Wars game. That'd be kind of cool. What about you?
Well, I don't. All of my most outlandish things are just things that I really, really hope to hear that I don't expect to. Like, I'd love for them to just walk out on the PC Gamer franchise and be like, oh, hey, by the way, Cyberpunk November 17th.
Man, here's the thing. I'm with you. God, would that be amazing?
Yeah.
They keep saying they're not even going to show up. Like,
yeah, CD Projekt Red is not making it, right?
No. CD Projekt Red has they're not officially at any conference.
Right.
But I would love for just some kind of which baffles me. But really, I mean, the biggest things that I'm hoping for this is I want to see them take the idea of huge announcement, immediate release date, and really start applying that like at every E3. I want to start seeing that kind of stuff all the time. Those, even if I'm not a huge fan of the game, those are some of the most hype announcements to see that kind of stuff.
Totally,
so although I can't think of one immediately, I just hope we see more of that kind of stuff. I want to see like big bomb drop announcements followed by very little windows, so the hype just carries directly into the release.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
So that's what I'm hoping for.
Someone did mention to me it is
a new
powered.
Stalker. Yeah, there we go.
Oh, that'd be cool. It is powered by Intel this year and not AMD. The PC Gamer.
Oh, so same thing. Just replace AMD with Intel.
Yeah. Hey, well, look at those new X99
i7?
processors.
Yeah.
Those are incredible.
Real quick though, I do have a little one. This is not a big one, and most people may not even agree with this, but there has been hinting of a new Metro game.
Ooh,
I kind of hope that we hear Metro 2030 something, like the next step in the Metro franchise. Mm-hmm. That would blow me away. That would be huge for me. I'm a massive fan of the Metro series. So that could be really cool.
That and Last Light are great, yeah. Those are good games.
You know what would make I forgot something else that would make me just cream my jeans.
What is it?
If they even teased or sprinkled a tiny bit of like maybe Portal 3?
Yeah. Okay. I'm on board.
I would lose it because those are some of the best games ever made.
Any game that Valve actually develops, I think I'm excited about.
Right.
Because they haven't fucking done it in so long.
I agree.
It's a dream.
and yeah, it fits perfectly in what we're talking about now, but a little bit of a real downer. In the last half year, Valve has lost most of their development.
I saw that. I saw the lead Portal writer left as well, yeah.
It's getting to the point where like they don't have the people to develop a game even if they wanted to.
Well, that's because, and here's my next big prediction. They've secretly finished Half-Life 3, and it's going to come out in a bundle with StarCraft Ghost. Together, those two games are going to release together.
All right, now you're getting dumb.
Jesse, and the canceled Warcraft adventure game.
Ooh.
Absolutely. It's all together.
And they're all in VR.
All in VR.
All in VR. They're all VR games. That's happening. Mm-hmm. That's happening. Mm-hmm. I don't know if Ko or Zeke has seen this, but the community actually made a E3 bingo card for drop frames. They were gonna,
what?
They were gonna
I haven't seen that.
I think some of the stuff could still change, some of the things, but on it are the announcing of a Kickstarter game on a conference, Sports Legend on stage, and everyone wonders who the fuck it is. The official name for the Xbox Scorpio isn't as cool as Scorpio. I like that one. Misplaced trailer music, Someone compares Scorpio to a PC. A new Assassin's Creed is the exact same game. Cut away from gameplay to show stage. The stream stopped on Twitch. That's gonna happen. That should just be a free spot. Shannon gets hyped before someone can say Fallout VR. I don't know if that'll happen. We'll see. Elder Scrolls 6 is or is not there, so that one just gets filled, I guess. BioWare does something. I like that one. Sony shows an open world game. Cohh gets really excited is one of them. I guess Cohh doesn't get that excited at E3s. I don't know. Everyone's excited for a surprise reveal. itmeJP criticizes audio quality. That's probably going to happen. Tech issues on stage. Epic sports story. Ubisoft dancing. Everyone tunes out. Where's the Vita? Hyped a non-gaming related feature. Nervous indie dev. Sakuril is really interested in gameplay possibilities. That's really good. Climb something to reveal map and still no date for the PC version of Destiny 2. So some of these might get tweaked, but we'll put that out before the show starts on Saturday. So
hold on, but
fill it out
why
together.
is TES6 isn't there? There's got to be a reason why that's going to be filled no matter what.
Because it's either going to be there or it's not.
But
Right?
it's filled no matter what.
I know. I think that's
Okay.
a free slot because you got to get a bingo somehow. I don't know.
That should just be in the middle then.
Maybe so. Maybe we'll put that in the middle. Again, subject to change. Okay, I had no hand in this whatsoever. This is from the community, so we'll just blame
Whoever
them.
made that, awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, that was
Good.
from the mods and the community over on the community forum. So shout out to you guys. We're still overdue, but I got to ask: of the things we announced, what are you guys actually hyped for?
The things we announced that
Or
I'm
the
actually
things that
hyped
are announced, like
The
Here's
things we
Craig.
know are going to be there.
Yeah, the things we know, that's really hard. The things that we don't know that we assume, there's a lot of hype there. The things that we know, a lot of it's like, okay.
I think I'm
You know what?
excited
Yeah,
for.
I got to be honest. The hype for me at E3 is the things I don't know.
Sure.
That is one of the reasons
Sure.
I am so hyped for E3. I like the whole Bethesda conference. Not a single known thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that my hype is the unknown.
I think I'm pretty excited just for what EA does outside of Battlefront for Star Wars. I want to see what they do with Star Wars outside of Battlefront. Because we already know what Battlefront's going to be. It's Battlefront 1 with some more shit tacked on. That's what it's going to be.
But Last of Us 2 is a maybe. It's not official.
It's not
we can't-
confirmed.
We can't count that.
Yeah, we don't. Most of these things are maybes. That's the problem. Is there's very few things that are like actually confirmed, and
Yeah.
so most of our hype comes from the fact they're like, but what if, when they finally reveal that though? So
I might have to say like official, like 100% official games besides South Park, which is not. There's no hype behind it because we know it's there. Blah blah blah. I would say
it
like
can
to
still be
see
hyped,
some
but yeah.
more of God of War.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yep.
that'll be cool.
Agreed.
Whatever they show.
yeah,
Yeah.
The last trailer made it look almost Dark Soulsy. Like I want to see if that's the real direction you're going with it, or maybe it was like just that fight. Like, but it seriously had an entirely new gameplay appearance in that trailer. I really want to see where they're going with that.
Yeah.
that's what happens when you become a father.
Yeah, you're telling
New
me.
it's a new experience.
Yeah. I think Sea of Thieves, I want to see more of that gameplay. I want to see the second-to-second gameplay of that, see if it's going to be something that, the four of us could jump on and play for hours, or the four of us jump on and play for an hour. Like, I don't know what that looks like. And then I think I'm actually pretty hyped for Mario. I haven't played like a new Mario game that's not like an old Mario game, and so I hope they kind of go the way that they did with Galaxy and fucking create a crazy new Mario game and show it off, and I hope that looks cool. But we'll see. A lot of questions going in, as there always are, and I'm sure there's going to be shit that we have no idea even exists that we'll be talking about next week.
That's the fun.
That's
Yeah,
always
man,
fun,
that's it.
yeah. Before we do shout-outs, this is the schedule for all of our coverage. Zeke's going to be at the Twitch stuff, so if you want to watch him, he'll be at /Twitch. He'll actually be there for, 12 hours on Saturday? Is that right, Zeke? You want to... When do you do the pre-live show or whatever the fuck it's called?
The pre-show.
The pre-show, yeah.
Pre-show is, I believe it's 10 to 10. Hold on.
Okay, look it up. We'll talk more
Yeah,
about
I'll look
this.
it up. Keep going.
Yeah. EA is going to be on Saturday. Microsoft and Bethesda, super late at night, will be Sunday. Monday will be Ubisoft and Sony. I think Tuesday is when they do the Nintendo conference. I'll probably at least watch that. I don't know if it'll be on stream. Definitely won't be a full Drop Frames broadcast. And then we'll circle back. Zeke, are you back home on the 14th? Or are you still in California?
It's hold on. I just found it. It's 11 p.m. to 10 a.m. on June 11th. So
Okay.
it starts on June 11th at 11 p.m.
Okay.
Hey, real quick, JP, when is the PC conference?
I think it's Saturday morning before
Okay.
Microsoft. I think.
Okay.
Let me.
Did we? Well, okay. Never mind. Are we gonna talk about the PC conference at all in case they announce anything big there?
Totally, yeah. We can talk about it in the post E3 show, or
Okay.
we can even do it before Microsoft because we have a full 30 minutes.
Cool. All right, great.
Yeah.
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 That'd be
It's Monday. Monday, June 12th
Dude,
at 10 a.m. So
if we want to
that's-
start the next show like 30 minutes early and just cover all the PC stuff, like I would be totally down for that.
we could do that on Monday, right before Ubisoft, if you want.
That'd be great.
Okay.
I'm down. Just
All right.
yeah. Well, we can. Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure that out. But these are the times you can come by the channel. I think Bethesda will be on Co's channel, but it'll be hosted here. So even if you come here, you'll still be seeing us, so you can watch that. And that's all that stuff. So that's our pre-E3 show. I gotta say, I was not that hyped for E3 coming to the show, and now I'm really fucking hyped. I love doing the pre-E3 shows. It gets me excited. So, Jesse, what the fuck are you going to all these conferences? What are you doing? Do some shout
Most of them, yeah. I'll be
Jesse-
at most of them.
It would have been so fun to have you on these shows, man. I'm serious.
Well, it was fun to be on this one, so thank you guys for having me on. Shit, I like to talk about games and nerdy crap all the time, man. If you can't tell, I'm a giant Star Wars dork. I'm a giant Star Wars.
That's a
dork.
Star
I'm
Wars
like a
term,
blade.
yeah.
Yeah. It's Star Wars. It's like blue milk. You have to be in on it.
Yeah.
Anyway, you can catch me on Shibuzi on Twitch, and my name is my YouTube channel, and hell, I do all sorts of stuff, and right now I'm playing the games that probably all these guys have already beat months ago. So, if you want to see someone else be way behind, I'm your guy. Wink.
There you go. Also, he's really close to 1 million subs on YouTube, so go sub to that guy.
Thank you so
yeah,
much.
You're like 60K away or something like that?
Mm-hmm.
There you go. Go check him out. Twitch.tv, or no, youtube.com/JaceCox, not Twitch. Zeke, do some shout outs, sir.
Yo, Zeke. Thank you to Jesse for being here today. Always fun talking to you. You're so exciting and so
Oh, you.
hyped. I will be at E3 in LA starting the 10th. I'll be gone from the 10th until the 16th. I'll be flying back the 16th. But until then, I'm going to be broadcasting at least 2 more days before I go. So I'm not sure what I'm doing, but we'll figure it out. Look for me on Twitter. Look for the announcement of what I'm doing on at E3 on Twitter, Ezekiel_III. That's the same for Twitch and YouTube. So if you want to follow me on any of those, I encourage you to do so. That's all I got.
Do it up. Also, he's the official Dropped Frames porn VR reporter.
Ambassador.
Yeah,
Ambassador.
senior porn correspondent.
Senior porn correspondent of Dropped Frames.
That is a card you need to hand
I'm going to
out.
get you a Dropped Frames business card that's so you can go up to the Naughty America VR booth. Is that who it is? Is that I think
That's
that's
who it was
exactly
last
who it
time.
is.
Okay.
That's exactly who it is.
yeah. No, I remember because he showed me the videos, and you just go up there, drop your card, and be like, "I'm back. All right, let's do this. It'll be good." Go do some shout outs.
I will. Hi, everyone. I'm Ko. It's a pleasure to be here today, and thank you guys for watching. As always, a huge thank you to Zeke and JP, my co-host. A phenomenal thank you to Jesse. Absolutely love the enthusiasm and energy. It is always a pleasure. You can find me streaming every day at my channel, twitch.tv/CohhCarnage. We're basically doing Battlegrounds, Everspace, and EverQuest these days. Yes, you heard that last part right. But hope to see you. Love to see you there, starting every day at 8 a.m. And as always, thanks for watching today. See you guys at E3.
Oh man, That was a hell of a show. I love doing this shit. We'll see you guys on Saturday for EA. That's the first one. That's up. We'll see what happens. I'm excited. We'll see you guys then. That's going to do it for the show. We're out. Bye-bye.
Bye.